Hey everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Baseless Speculation on the pop culture news and research so you don't have to. I'm Joel.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Joel.
Now boys, what do we think is going to happen in every single Star Wars that's been announced since Rise of Skywalker?
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, courtesy of.
Something snappy in the SANSPANTS radio Discord.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, fellas, I've done the research. Here is a list of every single Star Wars movie that's been announced since the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And
And
we all laugh and joke that they love to announce a Star Wars movie and then not make it, which is true.
We laugh and joke with good reason.
Yeah.
And we should be pointing out something snappy. They kind of posted it in a sort of two-panel comic where the first one is Star Wars movies announced since the Rise of Skywalker release. You swipe over, Star Wars movies released since Rise of Skywalker.
And it's a
there's
blank
nothing.
list.
That's very funny. That's very funny
good.
stuff.
That's funnier than anything we could possibly do.
Yeah. Well, on that note.
Yeah. So if you liked that content, drop
Jump into the Discord, something snappy's there.
Yeah.
I guess something snappy's not just a clever name.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, basically, Star Wars Celebration just happened, and they're like, guess what? We've announced another new Star Wars movie.
Yes.
And we got a trailer for a movie that seemed like the only one that they were actually making. So, hey, two things are definitely happening.
Certainly real.
So when they announce like, hey, another movie that's happening, are they like, and that's on top of everything we had already announced, don't you worry? Or has stuff that's been announced been like, and now we can't.
I think with Star Wars, weirdly, we're in a sort of era where they can kind of announce, and clearly they have, announced one of these movies and then be like, if we stop talking about it, the internet will forget about it.
Yeah.
And then we can just pretend it never happened. Or if somebody asks, you go, yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah. It's actually now like it's a limited edition, a limited series, sorry.
It's a limited edition.
Movie. Only people that came and went to the Star Wars hotel saw it.
Yeah,
So
only
we
the
did actually
people-
release it, but it's not released for you.
Only the people that work at Star Wars can
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah.
Oh, to get a job at Star Wars.
I would
Yeah,
love a
yeah,
job.
yeah,
Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah,
Why
dude.
did
Are
I
you
get
a
a job
Star
at
Wars
Star Wars?
veteran?
What
What do
Oh,
you do
my
at Star Wars?
lord.
Oh, I polished the stormtroopers. Keep them shiny.
Yeah, that's good.
Someone's got her.
Yeah.
I'm a guide.
They can be like, I'm a guy.
Yeah.
What do you do with Star Wars? Oh, I'm a guy.
Yeah, I'm
Who's
just like,
there?
I'm a guy who means Star Wars.
Yeah. You know, if you worked at Star Wars Land in the early days, you got to make up your own character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They don't allow it anymore. But
That also makes sense.
yeah.
They don't allow, like, the canon. Let's talk about this. Baseless Speculation's new tradition is Joel Zammett doing
Yeah.
laundry. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I agree. I wish I had something to do. Don't you?
You holding a deck of cards.
No, but I
and
mean
so
something
am I.
practical.
I got a
Like
laptop.
I wish I was cooking something.
Yeah. Get a little
Bring a
stove in
hot
here.
plate or whatever.
That'd be
Make
nice.
spaghetti.
You
Yeah.
can. We get like a portable, like a little induction stove
Dude,
top.
that would work. Something
Is
I
it
keep
just
thinking.
a Baseless Speculation thing, or do you do employment of that
He
stuff?
does it. He did it at a JBSA. We weren't even
Yeah.
filming.
Yeah, but that's different. You can do whatever you want when you're not on camera.
That's true. That's true.
We could do a JBSA we're all jacking off.
Yeah.
As
And
long as
often-
we don't
And
acknowledge it.
often we are.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a
Keen-eared
ghost or
listeners.
something.
Jack and Balls Spooks America.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. You did it. You did
Anyway,
it.
that's a SANSPANS Plus show. So
Yeah, you
please
should
sign up to
subscribe.
SANSPANS.
No, usually whatever we film first or record first is when I start.
You
And
got
if
a
we
lot of laundry, but I guess
Yeah,
you got a
dude.
baby.
Yeah. So like a lot of the laundry these days is mostly baby. And then you're like, oh shit, my own stuff.
And also, I guess like babies throwing up on your stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
getting
you wouldn't
dirty.
believe.
You're probably doing
Bro,
a
we
lot
got
more
the
of your
same
own
underwear.
laundry.
Is that the second time I've noticed that?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I got that pair. That's fucked up.
I got a Bonds underwear, man.
Something I keep thinking we should do for the podcast is I see a lot of time on like TikTok and Instagram. There'll be like podcasts and it'll be like sexy ladies and hunks and they'll be like interviewing the sexy ladies and hunks. Do you reckon it'd be good to just hire some sexy ladies and hunks just to have in the background?
What?
In the background?
Do you, as
mean,
in like
could
the
we
Just
man,
for like
them-
the algorithm for the TikTok.
the man on the street?
No.
interviews?
Like
no,
sometimes
no,
like
no.
podcasts and they'll be like interviewing like sexy ladies or hunky dudes. And I just think it'd be
I'm gonna need more than like. Is
What
that
else
like
do you need?
So they're
No,
like,
no, no,
we
no,
do
no.
a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, they do a podcast.
Yes.
And they are just interviewing a hunky
like,
dude or a
they
sexy lady.
interview hunky dudes or sexy ladies, and like clearly that's just so the algorithm
Yeah.
picks up this is a sexy
What's
lady.
the
and people,
podcast?
I don't
No.
even
Like,
fucking
what's it
know.
about?
Honestly,
it'll be interviewing them
yeah.
and making them seem stupid
Yeah.
because that's what they
Okay,
all do.
Or honestly, it might not even be a podcast.
Yeah,
it's just
a
it
fake.
just
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like a podcast.
Fake podcasts are awesome.
But I just
They're
think
way
it
better
would
than
be
real ones.
better
Oh,
for
yeah.
our
Trust me.
algorithm
Yeah.
if we were screaming at each other while there was like a sexy guy just kind of like his package right here.
yeah.
As I'm like, I could go to space.
Or we
could.
could have. What if we got the hunky individual on the fourth mic?
Well,
Would
yeah,
that,
would
would that work
too.
as
Yeah,
well?
they can.
You
they
seen
can
Star Wars?
contribute.
No.
Anyway.
That makes sense. I could go to space.
I could work at Star Wars.
They need a guy to polish the stormtrooper.
Hunky man, what would your job be? Can't say hunk.
Can't say hunk. They don't have hunks. in
I'd
Star
probably be a
Wars.
hunk.
Oh, wait,
he's-
Lando
yeah, no, it's
Calrissian.
fair. He would be a hunk though.
Do you reckon when they, they're like, you can make up your like character for Star Wars land? If I was like, yeah, my character's a guy who got food poisoning from the food here.
I think
they'd
that would
allow that?
No, I think you'd get fired on the spot for not
okay.
taking your job at Star Wars seriously.
Yeah, that's-
but if your name was like, yeah, it'd be same if I rolled in and I was like, yeah, my character, like, I'm just thinking like, I don't know, I'm a Twi'lek and my name's Spicy Jeff.
Yeah.
That allows.
They
Well,
wouldn't
no.
allow Spicy Jeff.
What if you could be like, I'm a Twi'lek and my name is Spikaikish Doof.
Yeah,
And then be
that's
like,
allowed.
oh yeah, and I have a fetish for Wookiees.
Yeah.
No, wrong.
No, wrong.
Bum, bum.
Damn it. Fetish for
No.
I'm
fets?
Spunk
Fetish
Burrito,
for
sex offender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine as long as your role in Star Wars is just getting whipped. Come whip the
Yeah.
first sex offender at Star Wars.
What if I let's see. Jeb. My name's Jeb.
That's a Star Wars
Yeah.
name.
My name Jeb.
My name's Jeb.
Jeb.
And let's see. I'm just a regular, I live on Tatooine. I'm a farmer, but secretly I just want to have sex with huts.
No.
I think
But
that's-
I don't tell them
Got
that.
the Wookiee fetish. Oh, secretly? Then you
Yeah.
can do whatever you like.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
my
In your
head,
own
my
head,
head.
Oh, your character
my head
motivation.
canon,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
cat
okay.
is like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
that's
have
okay.
sex.
You can do
I
that.
want
That's
to bang
allowed.
a hut, but I
That's
don't let
allowed.
anyone know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's true because
But
it's canon.
It is canon
Yeah,
to Star
because-
Wars. yeah.
So I'm in Star Wars.
Because you're working
Yeah,
in Star
that's
Wars.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, what? But I don't know. Actually, because Mark Hamill disagreed with the direction of Luke,
That's
and he
true.
had different visions in his head.
Well,
That's
you gotta find
true.
So
George
that
Lucas
means
or
that-
whatever and ask
Yeah,
him.
that's
So-
only when they started filming though, because it was probably true up until the moment that it was on, printed on film.
That's true.
The moment they're like, my, Jeb is not trying to bang a hut.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes
Yeah.
canon. But until that moment in time,
What's your surname? Jeb?
let's see.
You're gonna have a Star Wars.
Calrissian.
Jeb Calrissian. Jeb Skywalker.
Jeb Skywalker once again.
Jeb
Skywalker.
Palpatine. Oh, my name's Jeb Vader. It doesn't even make
It's
sense.
not even his surname.
Oh yeah, you could anything like a risen.
Yeah.
Why not?
Jeb Risen.
Darth
Yeah.
Vader Skywalker is technically his name. That's awesome.
That is funny.
Darth Vader
He's
Skywalker.
kind of actually, technically, he's
Vader
Anakin Darth Vader
Yeah.
Star-
Well, yeah, but that's-
Skywalker. It's like a nickname.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Darth Vader is just like he's
No,
just like he's changed his name
It's his
by
priest name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that's true. Because
Well,
he's a
isn't-
Darth, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Vader's his priest name.
Yeah. Darth is the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That yeah. Darth
Like-
is kind of like father.
Yeah.
But
Father
Vader's like
Darth.
father.
Whoa.
Father,
Darth. Father, give me the news.
Yeah.
He makes you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Father, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. You've taken
what?
that
Yeah,
song
yeah,
and
yeah.
you've moved it from the doctor's office to the confessional, which I really love.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a priest fetish now.
Yeah.
Also, rest in peace to the Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to
the Pope,
Pope
dude.
Francis. He said the F slur twice and then died. What a legacy.
And what are your opinions on this hunk?
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be good?
Hey, I'd be scared he might say it.
You know, yeah. He might say it.
I
That's
love
true.
the Pope, but I should say it too. No!
Oh, this
Hunk,
was meant to
no!
be good for our algorithm.
The Pope apologized the first time, but then said it a second.
Yeah.
And that's the
He
last
was old
time.
and dying, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
so.
he was sick, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
JD Vance, you killed the Pope.
Yeah, JD Vance killed the Pope, dude. Yeah.
That seems like a ominous sign for America.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think they need any more ominous signs.
Yeah.
It's kind of been ominous signs since
the
beginning?
2016. Since
Yeah.
the beginning.
Since the beginning.
since
the
they
beginning.
landed at Plymouth Rock or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow, all
sir-
this corn for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, God.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I don't think it was
okay.
God that did that, dude.
Yeah, dude.
No, bro, though.
Well, let's start with the Star Wars movies announced since The Rise of Skywalker's release. We're going to go from the bottom up because the bottom we have Star
More
Wars
information about, yeah.
Starfighter, which is
When you say
directed.
bottom up, do you mean the one that's been most recently
Yeah.
announced?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The bottom of the list.
Although, to be fair, this order is kind of in a random order, except for the last one.
All right, so we're going to go to that one, and then we'll just go wherever we want.
Yeah. But I've got the list in front of me, so I'll know which order we're going, and you guys will just.
I got
is
the
he
list in
going-
front of me too.
Is he going forwards? Is he going backwards? Is he going at random?
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But one thing we can all be sure of is that Star Wars Starfighter is at the bottom of this list because it is the newest one announced.
Yeah.
It happened at Star Wars Celebration. There was rumors about it. And it is my worst nightmare come true.
Yeah.
What
I
is
know
it?
it's bad.
It is a movie directed by Sean Levy.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
The Internship, the movie where Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson work at Google, but they
Yeah.
don't fucking get it because they're old as shit. They're like 40 trying to understand
Fuck,
Google. I could put things in this box and then it tells me shit.
What? We get it.
It's 2013
I don't
and we're making this movie?
How is computer? What?
Huh?
Now, this list actually has a mistake because it says directed by Sean Levy, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that's not
and that
quite
would
right.
make sense.
That would suck, but it would suck in a way we're used to at this
yeah,
point.
it would suck in a way where I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay.
Did Sean Levy do the one with Ryan Reynolds on Netflix where he goes back, but it is
The
also
Adam Project?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Star Wars. So
He
he did
did.
that.
Yeah.
Was that him pitching to be like, look, I can do a Star Wars?
Well, I
Maybe.
mean, maybe also his pitch was in Free Guy when Ryan Reynolds had a lightsaber, and then some guy said, "What the fucking shit? It's goddamn fucking Star Wars."
You know
Sean
what?
Levy-
Hey, they had your hunk idea.
They did exactly.
Well, I guess you
Yeah.
stole it from them. Then.
You're stealing from Free
Bro,
Guy.
I'm looking at Sean
dude.
Levy. He's got the face of a mischievous imp. You know what I mean?
He looks kind of
Look
like
at him. That's
Oh,
a
he does,
mischievous
yeah.
imp.
who plays
He's
Gaylord
go- he's
Focker's
gonna-
dad?
Uh,
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin
He
Hoffman.
looks like
Yeah, he
Dustin
does.
Hoffman.
He's gonna. I feel like he's gonna I'm gonna sell him a secret,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna forget that,
Yeah.
but I'm maybe gonna get
All
something
the
in
gold
return.
in the world, all it costs is your name.
Yeah. And
Okay,
I'm like,
so-
guys,
Sean
I'm
Levy.
rich, and you're like, oh,
Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah.
So I guess like his least offensive movies he's made. He's the director of the Night at the Museum trilogy.
Yeah.
And he also made Real Steel.
Real Steel is
Okay.
good.
But he
So-
also made the Pink Panther reboot, Cheaper by the Dozen reboot. Those were back to back.
That's
He
crazy.
loves Steve Martin.
Yeah, dude.
He made Big Fat Liar.
Yeah.
He made the famous piece of shit Ashton Kutcher and Brittany Murphy, maybe a romantic comedy Just Married.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's not, so, here it says with Ryan Reynolds, but it's not Ryan Reynolds. This is a douche.
No, it's not
It's
Ryan
somebody
Reynolds.
quite near and dear to your
it's
heart.
a different Ryan. It's Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Ryan, I get it.
Fuck, dude.
Money rocks.
That said, no.
Ryan Gosling
No,
has.
I was thinking, well, like it's Star Wars. So again, we're talking about directors, you're talking about like auteurs, and when you're talking about a big movie franchise type thing, usually it's kind of a bit of a death of the auteur, and they
Yeah.
kind of just churning out a pretty decent kind of film, right?
yeah.
Slop together, you're like, here it is. It kind of ticks the boxes that the executive want, and here we go. And so I'm like, well, look, so maybe it's not going to be that bad considering like he's just going to be like, oh, they want a Star
gonna
Wars
be
film,
following-
I'll do a Star Wars
Yeah.
film. So I was like, maybe it's like, hey, he might be either reined in a little bit or whatever it is. But then I'm like, oh, no, Deadpool v.
Yeah.
Wolverine,
No.
that was that. But it did make a Billy, several, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
so they'll be
so-
like, do
So
what you
maybe,
want, brother.
hey, actually, best movie ever. It's going to make so
CGI
much
Luke
money.
Skywalker.
It's set 5 years after Rise of Skywalker, so no Luke Skywalker unless he's a Force ghost. In which case it's
will be.
fine to have a CGI because you
Yeah.
could just have him as regular Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. So do we know anything about it?
Yes, it is set 5 years after
Yeah.
the Rise of
yeah.
Skywalker.
Yeah, is it like,
It's
is it?
set to be released in 2 years' time, and Ryan Gosling sounds like he was held at gunpoint to say this.
Yeah.
The reality is that the script is just so good. It has such a great story with great and original characters. It's filled with so much heart and adventure, and there just really is not a more perfect filmmaker for this particular story than Sean.
That's so funny, dude.
But
Okay.
Ryan Gosling apparently is, you're not going to believe this, but the guy that just got cast in Star Wars, he's loved Star Wars his whole
No way.
life.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Gosling, loving Star Wars?
Why has he not been in one? so far. I'm sure he could have.
Has he mentioned
Has he
in
auditioned
other
ever
like
in the past?
well, in other films or whatever? Has
Yeah.
he mentioned how he's?
I mean,
like
he could have been a decent Kylo Ren. I'm glad he wasn't.
Yeah,
but
He could have been in the sequel trilogy.
He also could have. Yeah, he could have played.
He could have been in
Poe.
there somewhere. Yeah. He could have been.
Because like like Adam Driver and Oscar Isaac were popping off at the same time as Ryan Gosling in similar style films
yeah.
around the same time. Anyway, thank God that didn't happen. But also, I mean, like, look, Ryan Gosling, he was in Barbie. He loves money now.
Yeah. That's
But
fine.
his taste in movies and loving money, it's still like Barbie's good.
Yeah.
Will this be good?
No.
I love Star Wars and I love Ryan Gosling, but I hate Sean Levy with my whole heart and ass.
Yes. That said, again, hey, maybe he just needs Sean Levy just need the right project to be good.
Maybe it'll be
And
another Real Steel.
Maybe it'll be another Real Steel. Maybe it'll be good. Like, because again, maybe if it's a Star Wars and it's like, hey, let's be a bit more on the serious side. Let's get, and it won't hopefully happen during like a writer's strike.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll it'll be maybe it might be one of them good ones, and you'll have a lot of interference from the studios.
Yeah.
Once again, Deadpool v Wolverine did make a.
I just think like you get Deadpool v Wolverine and like what Star Wars property, excluding Andor, has been like a knockout. Also, I've seen a lot of people. This is not my original thought, but it is funny that Star Wars Starfighter is such a funny title.
It's a really bad name.
It's so bad.
But
Star
also, is
Wars.
that-
It's like you called it Star Wars Starman. Like,
Is he fighting a son? Like, what's going on here?
I have no idea.
Is
But
it kind
you
of like
don't
because
have-
this guy's there's Star Killer, which is
I mean, there's a video-
type of ship
no, isn't
or Star Killer. A
Starkiller
dude.
it was Luke's original name.
And then it was Starkiller Base, right?
In
Force
Force Awakens, but also Starkiller's fucking the guy from Force Unleashed.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
Okay.
Star Wars Starfighter is also a video game from 2001.
Oh,
Are we
okay.
adapting that?
Maybe, I mean, it is like basically what.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because it's set in the wrong time period.
Yeah.
But Star Wars Starfighter is 3 pilots in the Battle of Naboo.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
I
could it
assume he'll
be 3 pilots in the battle of something else?
Someone else. Yeah. He'll play like a hotshot
Yeah.
like pilot, basically.
So that's all we have to go on is that it's just
Yeah,
set
I
5
think so.
years and it's got
It's
Gosling.
releasing May 7th,
Yeah.
2027.
Oh yeah.
It's a standalone story and won't follow the main plotline of the Skywalker family and recent sequels.
That's good.
Not
Yeah,
many
that's
details about the storyline have been revealed yet. It's set
says-
approximately 5 years after the events of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Gosling is playing a new character. It's not a prequel or sequel. It's a new adventure. It's set in a period of time we haven't explored yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Star Fighter.
Starfighter.
Okay.
Starfighter. Star Wars Starfighter.
I'm assuming
Wars.
he's like a pilot. He'll be like
Yeah.
a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll do like a kind of weird
What
kind
if?
of
Ooh, Starfighter.
Yeah. He's not going to
Okay.
be, I don't think he'll be a Jedi. I think
No,
they'll.
no.
Yes, fingers crossed. What if we take like some
Although
elements?
it's Sean Levy.
Yeah.
Fuck. If it was anyone else, I'd be like, oh, this could be interesting.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
a low stakes thing. But no, this is going to be fucking. Gosling's going to be looking at the camera and have to say lines like, I wish Deadpool was here.
And in like the background, Ryan Reynolds will just
He'll be
pop
like,
his head
"Ooh,
in.
ooh."
Chris Evans will have a cameo because he fucking loves
Yeah, he's in
money
every
and
Sean
Sean
Levy.
Levy.
Hey man, nothing wrong with loving money.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I
Sign
get
up to
Gosling-
Basic Speculation
Yeah.
Plus today.
Yeah.
Well,
so if
we
you-
wish we had money.
Oh,
That's
you
different.
do.
Yeah.
We all wish we had
Yeah.
money.
I would be in a Sean Levy movie for
$20?
$50,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
$20. I'm
Yeah.
cheap.
I guess it would probably.
Here's the thing, JD.
Yeah.
I can't act. Why would you put this mug on camera? $20.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be in your film.
I'll be in your movie. You can't cut me out. I'll do it for $5.
Yeah.
I'll be in your
You're
movie.
undercoat.
I'll be in your
Motherfucker.
movie.
Scab.
Okay. So I love the deal you're setting. You're like, all right, $5, cheap, but I can't cut him.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I don't think he's gonna do anything bad.
No.
I think he's gonna be. Yeah.
what if-
Help! I'm trapped in Star Wars.
Fuck! And we can't cut it.
No,
That
he's
was
a
the
new
deal,
guy.
the $5 deal we
He's-
have.
Yeah, he's a new character that's got lost
Yeah.
and he found himself in. I fell in a hole. And I woke up in Star Wars, and
fuck,
I'm
you still
stuck
going.
in Star Wars.
Can we cut
Stop filming.
Famous actor Ryan Gosling, can you help me get out of
Can we
the
cut
Star
his?
Wars?
Can we cut his mic? For the love of God, can
Yeah,
we cut his mic?
can we at least mute him?
I'm just like waving my arms in the background.
Just yelling.
We'll make it a post-credit sequence, I guess.
What if this is maybe to do
People
with
love me, and then they have to cast me in a sequel about
Star
the man
Wars 2.
man?
Star Wars
Keep
2.
yelling.
He's stuck in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, what if?
What a subtitle. Star Wars 2 is stuck in Star Wars.
Okay, what if it's okay? So we take like say some of the better things of pod racing.
Yeah.
And we just get this guy, and we maybe do like the first, maybe third or whatever, maybe the first third, maybe like the first like act, shall we say?
Yeah.
That's like young, up and coming, kind of like in either the pod racing, or I think there was one in like the Knights of the Republic where it was like, oh, it's kind of basically pod racing before pod racing was a thing, but here it is. So again, a hotshot kind of like driver, as it were, and so like that's where he's. Maybe this Ryan Gosling doesn't have any allegiances to like the what the hell? Who are they now? New Republic? Whatever. Good guys, bad guys.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have any kind of allegiance either way.
Technically, I think it would be like the New Republic, because the New Republic gets blowed up at the start of Force
the
Awakens.
Resistance, or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have any sort of like allegiance to like anyone really. But it's kind of like, wow, this guy's showing some good shit on the track. And then it just becomes like, like a military enlisting kind of film.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it's like going through the training, and then we got to go and do this.
Yeah. That is the
Fight on
movie
something?
that I would think this would be, except
I know,
Sean
I know,
Levy is directing
I am
it.
aware.
Yeah.
Wait,
But I
who's hey, is he writing it?
Good question.
Or is
I
he
don't know
just
if we know.
directing it? Because or we just don't know right now.
I assume we don't
Because,
know right now. It's
yeah,
pretty early days.
Yeah, did he?
The writer feels like it should be,
Yeah.
important, or at least someone.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Well, again, hey, look, right. Look, the director kind of.
It's sort of a dark mark on the...
That said, though, is it Lord and Miller was. They were gunning to, or they did direct the Solo project, and then they got fired, and then you got Ron Howard.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's
Maybe
like,
Sean
again,
Levy will get fired.
oh, that's true. But I was like, you have Lord and Miller. They have a vision. They have like this idea of like, we're going to make something, and they get asked, and then you have and they were very good filmmakers, and then you have Ron Howard, once again a very good filmmaker. Makes dog shit. So
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you never know.
yeah,
Maybe
so
it'll be the thing that
maybe
changes our opinion on Sean Levy.
Yeah. I'll think about it. Right, again with the Star Wars, if you're like you have a vision, you tend to be sort of like
Yeah, that's true.
cut, right? You cut the knees. Ryan Johnson, after he made, like, I think there was some things that I really liked about his film, and there was like things that I really did not like about that film. But I can imagine, like, hey, there was some ideas that he was playing with, and maybe he was like, I'm being restricted here. So that kind of was very, very frustrating. He's made some great films.
Yeah,
You then have J.J. Abrams. He's made some really good.
He made one good Star Wars.
One. I mean, yes, and people will argue back and forth. I'm not going to be doing that, but I'm like, he's made some other good films, and he's made some pretty good films that emulate, like Spielberg. Really good stuff. The one is what's the one where
Super 8?
Super 8,
Eight's pretty
great
fun,
film.
yeah.
Love
Super 8 did absolutely nothing for me.
That's
but
fine,
Mission
dude.
Impossible 3 is good. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the dark horse of the Mission Impossible franchise.
So again, and so these people who have like this long either history of either making pretty decent films or films that will hit certain markets or whatever that is, and they kind of can produce slop.
Yes, yeah.
So maybe the equation isn't good director plus Star Wars equals a good film. It needs to be bad director plus Star Wars equals good film.
Yeah.
I don't think
Who
we've
did
ever had a
Rogue?
bad director direct a good Star Wars movie.
Well, what bad directors have we had?
Yeah.
George Lucas.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Rogue One. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But people
I liked
do.
Rogue One.
I think
How'd it
Rogue
get down
One-
with Rogue One.
Yeah, I liked Rogue One too. I reckon Rogue One's going to be even better after you watch Andor. In
I
fact,
reckon too, dude. I'm very excited
I've
to...
Angus Truscott of Hey Fam, which is also on the SANSPANTS Radio Network. He got given a media screener for all of season 2, and he said season 2 of Andor is just as good as season 1, and it also makes Rogue One so much better.
Fuck yeah. That's exciting as hell.
Yeah. Because I'm not a huge fan of Rogue One, but it was directed by somebody. I forget whom.
It was the guy who made Godzilla.
Yes.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
John Goodman.
John Godzilla.
John Godzilla. Man, and he got the Godzilla
Yeah.
film?
Yeah. What are the odds?
What are the
Anyway, we got a lot more movies to
Anyway,
get through,
so look,
dude.
hey, maybe
It's a fun premise.
Even
Gareth Edwards.
even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Or
Do
whatever.
you know,
Unless
just
it's
quick,
24 hour
quick side note,
Yes.
J.J. Abrams has only directed 6 movies.
Really? What ones?
Because mostly he does TV, right? Or he comes out as a creator.
Mission Impossible 3 was his directorial debut in film.
Mm-hmm.
Then he made Star Trek, Super 8, Star Trek Into Darkness, The Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker. That's
Wow,
it.
that's crazy. That's
So he
crazy.
He's done a
goes-
lot of
for-
TV stuff, right?
Yeah. I
The
think so.
moment you let him direct a second movie in the franchise, it turns out he shits his pants and the movie.
That
Yeah,
is
he's
funny.
good at the setting up. He's like, hey, here's the mystery box. What's in it? Doesn't matter.
I don't
Maybe
care.
you should. Because when you do a sequel and you're like, you have to open up the mystery box.
Yeah, exactly.
You really should have
You
had a
should have
plan.
put something
you know?
in there, I think.
He directed Felicity, Alias,
Mm-hmm.
Lost, Jimmy Kimmel Live,
Whoa.
The Office, Undercovers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good for JJ.
Good for JJ.
Anyway, the
dude.
next movie, which there has been a trailer released, but we're not allowed to watch it yet.
Oh.
No.
At time of recording, we are banned from watching this trailer, so we won't speculate too heavily on it, because when we can watch the trailer, we'll
I'm
just
sure
do a full episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the only other Star Wars movie that is real at the moment, I believe.
This is more real even than Star Wars Starfighter.
Oh,
let's
yeah.
Be honest.
It's
If
actually
I found out Star Wars Starfighter did the same trick every other Star Wars movie did and just
Yeah.
faded into obscurity.
I kind of hope it does.
Yeah.
Or at least they
Well,
fire the director.
Or maybe, hey, we're making
Or Ryan Gosling quits
Deadpool
and
v Wolverine 2, so
Yeah.
Sean Levy has to go over there, so we've brought in a new director.
Well, I think the problem is that they probably won't get it. They'd just be like, whatever, anyone can direct Deadpool and Wolverine. Joel Douche, are you free?
I
yeah.
started thinking, and this is nothing, it's just literally a tweet I saw from like discussing film or something, but they were like, oh, the Deadpool and Wolverine sets
Yeah.
are being refurbished for something. And somebody had quote tweeted that being like, oh, Battleworld is going to be in the void and it's going to be the ugliest movie you've ever seen in your life.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, dude.
Can't wait. Be there day one. Anyway, Mandalorian and Grogu. Which is
Mandu-goo-goo.
the movie that
Yeah.
brings all of the fucking Disney Plus shows into one movie. Something that Marvel learnt does not get people out to the cinema.
Yeah.
Well, it's what is it? Is it every like what Ahsoka?
Did you hear about Ahsoka? That
Yeah, Thrawn is going to fight Akbar.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Thrawn and Akbar, dude, head to head, rage in
General
a cage.
Akbar or whatever is back again, and he's
Yeah, but he-
fighting General Thor.
Well, then we know
So
what
many-
happens because he dies in.
Also, who cares? Even if I didn't know what
But
happens,
Thrawn's also.
why do
Bro.
I give a shit what happens?
Akbar's back,
It's a trap, right?
Oh,
Dude.
shit. No, I know who Akbar is.
bro.
It's
He's
a trap.
back.
I've just thought about him saying it's a trap again, and that's
Yeah.
actually awesome.
See,
Um,
bro.
So wait, is it bringing like Ahsoka and like Acolyte and shit?
Not Acolyte.
What happened in Acolyte?
Acolyte ended on a cliffhanger and then got cancelled.
Funny.
Yeah.
What was the one with Jude Law?
Skeleton Crew.
What happened in that?
I
That
don't
seemed
know.
Fun. I should have watched Skeleton.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
here's Joel Douche's guide to Star Wars TV shows from a man who has only seen 2 seasons of Star Wars TV shows.
Okay,
Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are good. Season
are they the ones you've seen?
wait, we're starting with the first 2 that came out.
Okay.
Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are good. Season 2 starts to lean into some of the problems that people have with Star Wars TV shows,
Yeah.
but in a bubble, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett, boring, allegedly.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is the point where I haven't seen any of them.
Okay.
I did watch it, but I can't remember anything about
a
it
bad
except for
sign.
that handsome man who I like's face.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
He's
does
also-
have a good face.
God, he's handsome.
Yeah, he is
So
handsome.
What's he doing? He could be our hunk.
Yeah, get Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy
on the show.
Oliphant wouldn't be our hunk. He'd be smarter than us as well.
Yeah.
We'd be his. It would be the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, Timothy
Where's a
Oliphant.
podcast out there full of hot guys? It's like, I need some real uggos.
Yeah.
For
Hey.
the algorithm.
Yeah.
Get us in, brother.
And we'll make them look even hotter.
Yeah, exactly. Just saying.
Book of Boba Fett, boring.
$20,
Boba Fett spends most of his time in a bacta tank having a think.
Yes.
Nice.
There is also one episode of that is just an episode of The Mandalorian, which is
Correct.
confusing for it to do it there because it's a very important episode of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
But then because it undoes the ending of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Season 3 of The Mandalorian.
And Cade Bane or Bane Cade or some guy blew he there.
And also, that's the episode where Grogu goes back to The Mandalorian because Luke Skywalker takes him at spoilers at the end of season 2. Ahsoka, fine, just like nothing ETV. Acolyte, fine, just nothing ETV. Ends on a cliffhanger, got cancelled, so probably not worth your time.
Isn't that witches or something?
Witches
piss people off, dude.
People were pissed off at that. People were pissed off at relationships between a master and Padawan, I think, and also twins, and one's bad, but then the other one
twins,
goes
Basil. Twins.
I believe that there's twins, and one's goes bad, but then goes good, but then the other one goes bad, and it's just like pretty convoluted.
Yeah.
Okay.
People hate women and gay people, so it's hard to get a read
on the actual quality of the show.
Was it good or
I don't believe that it's
or was
great.
it fine?
It was
I watched
fine,
one episode. It did feel very much like something like Star Wars presented by the CW network.
Yes, I agree. Because I watched one episode too. Maybe
and there was
even
like
two.
Carrie-Anne Moss was there, and there was a cool little fight scene, but then she dies, and my interest kind of in that whole show.
The opening was sick, but then, I don't know, maybe if I'd stuck with it, but I don't have enough buy-in these days to stick with a show like that.
Skeleton Crew, apparently really good. Okay. It's like an Amberlin style Star Wars. It's kids get on a spaceship, they accidentally go to hyperspace, and then they're stuck on another planet because they don't know how the fuck to fly up.
Yeah, that one looked appealing to me because it was like clearly made with like a
it's set in the Star Wars suburbs as well.
Yeah, that pissed people off.
Oh, that sounds so cool. What do you mean? Why did it piss people off?
I don't know. People got mad at bricks in Andor. You remember that?
Oh, I don't remember
because there's
this.
bricks.
Doesn't episode 1 of The Mandalorian have a toilet?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. People are crazy, dude.
Anyway, let me go over a Wikipedia article, look up chickens.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I forgot about that series, which I think a lot of people have.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Filmed during COVID, you can tell.
Kind of sucked, I guess.
Still Saunders is in it, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
And also, Obi-Wan came under fire maybe because... Is that the episode is that the show where someone says shit? And people are like, God damn, fuck Star Wars. You can't be saying shit in Star Wars.
Yeah, they don't say shit in Star Wars. They say doo-doo or poo-doo or whatever it is. Bantha Kaka?
No, I think it's Pooter.
Yeah.
I think that's what Jar Jar Binks stuff.
It would be very funny to see like, Ewan McGregor poo-doo.
Yeah, Pooter. What the Pooter?
Because Ahsoka is basically like a live-action sequel to Rebels.
Yeah.
Things are just getting convoluted, and I feel like I'm also missing something.
Like
Andor, good,
great film, great,
incredible,
great. But isn't like a lot of the stuff which is like hey, it's a continuation of say the Clone Wars or whatever, and it's just like especially for someone I'm like I've done it.
Yeah.
Hence, I think in the book of Boba Fett, it's like that Cade Bane or whatever. You're like I don't know who that is, but everyone's like oh my god, it's this guy from...
Yeah.
And I'm like, I still don't know who this is.
See, I'm fine with that because Star Wars has always done that.
Yeah.
And like, that's just world building.
Like, again, I'm fine with it, but it was shot and presented in a way like you should know.
Yeah,
if it's just like they're there.
Like, that would have been fine.
Like,
if there was
fucking Mon Mothma in Andor.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just like she's just a character in it.
And like, again, if they had done a little bit more like for the Johnny, I don't watch the cartoons viewer to be like, who this person is and why they are important, I'd have been like, okay, my buy-in is there. But
I just think that, and Marvel is very much guilty of this as well. It's fine to have characters that are like, bring back fucking that guy from Rebels that fell in the hole and went through time or whatever. Okay. What's his name?
Sure, dude.
Bro, it's crazy you think it could have an answer to that.
Wow, dude. I'm like, is that a thing that happened?
You think Batman?
No, I'm not thinking of Batman.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Batman? Rick Jones?
Ezra.
Oh,
he fell through time?
Ezra.
Yeah, there's time travel in Rebels. That's how they save Ahsoka. That's how Ahsoka's still alive, because she's killed by Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically find I think it's like a force tree, and it opens to like significant event. Anyway, so
Tight.
Brother.
You know what, bro?
Sick. Cool.
I think it actually, look.
Hey, bro. Sick.
Hey, you know how like when people always love to tell you the Clone Wars and Rebels is good?
Yeah.
I think there's actually parts that are good.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. You just laid force tree on me, and I just had to like let that wash over me.
I just had to let of just accept that. I just guess I just don't have the buy-in for Star Wars. I mean, I never
It's just
did.
too much stuff.
Well, yeah, and like I don't know, like I think it's in this funny position. I'm glad to hear that people really like season 2 of Andor, but I remember the trailer for it ends with Darth Vader, and I was like, bad sign, bad sign, dude. Showing me the kind of thing that's meant to excite me actually does the opposite because I'm like, what are you doing? Paying it to me? Just make a good fucking TV show for God's sake.
Yeah. So Grogu and Mando.
Grogu.
That'll be
Actually,
fine.
Ezra goes into a portal in a Jedi temple
Nice.
because he's just like going fucking crazy and travels through time. Anyway,
Okay. So yes, Grogu.
so Mandalorian and Grogu will tie up the Mandalorian seasons, but I think we'll also because originally I don't really know what they're going to do because originally it was meant to tie Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett and all of that together and like have a big showdown with presumably Thrawn.
Yeah.
But they're clearly not doing that.
No.
So I don't know how this is gonna end.
So I guess they've got the numbers to be like, well, a lot of people watched Mando.
Yeah. What
The
else
end.
did people? Ooh, Andor.
They didn't watch any of
No
this.
The
one's watching.
Mandalorian.
So let's just focus on Mando.
Yeah.
Okay, done. All right, so this will just be like
Sigourney Weaver's in this.
Okay.
sick.
Nice.
So do you reckon it'll just be like kind of what the TV show is, which is just like a boy boy and his cub going out and doing shit.
Well, I think
Man
this will
and
be
his
at the
cub.
point where it's like, my guess would be that this is less boy and cub and more boy and other boy now.
Oh yeah.
I guess it'll just answer whatever the fuck happens to Grogu, and the answer will be he went off somewhere.
Yeah. He'll go in a hole or some shit, dude.
Grogu goes in a
Probably
hole.
Grogu will go in a hole.
And then he'll come out in 2012 New York City, and he's in the Avengers now.
Okay.
Awesome, dude. I thought
just
you were
hope,
about to pitch an awesome fish out of water movie like they did in the 90s where it's like, whoa, what's Grogu going to do in the real world?
I just hope they every once in a while they just pan to like what's his name director Herzog just being like, I wanted to eat the boys so
That is what he said.
bad.
Show me the
Why
boy.
did they not
I
let
want
me
to
eat
eat
the
the
boy? I had him. I could have.
They should have let
tasted
Werner
that
Herzog
little
eat Grogu.
Yeah.
boy.
I don't think that's what he wanted to do.
Didn't he?
No.
No, he wanted to just hold the boy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
loved
Every
him.
time he saw Grogu, it made him like cry.
I want to see the boy.
I wanted to see. I thought he wanted to eat it.
No.
Didn't he want to
I
make
thought
him
you
do
were
a
doing a
soup?
bit. That's awesome.
Didn't he want to they wanted to suck out his brain and get all the force juice into
Okay,
him?
are you combining two different things?
I don't
which
know. Am I
is-
combining it?
What are you combining?
I think you're combining.
Yeah, you're the idiot, not me who thinks Werner Herzog wanted to eat the puppet.
I think you're
sure he didn't
combining.
eat the puppet?
I think you're combining his. You're vaguely misremembering his character's intentions,
Probably.
and also combining that with
Him
what
wanting to see
him, what
the boy.
him say. Him. Well, that's a line in it,
Show me the boy.
but when Herzog
with the
also.
boy.
I don't know. I tried to do Werner Herzog. He did a fucking Anton Chigurh from No Country. Show me the boy.
Anyway, because in real life, Werner Herzog was like, "Man, I fucking love Grogu.
Yeah,
The best thing I've ever seen."
Okay.
that rocks, dude.
Anyway, the guy from the Bears playing the son of Jabba the Hutt in Mandalorian and Grogu.
And he's buff, yeah?
Yeah, he's
buff
also
as
in the
fuck.
Clone Wars movie.
What?
Sick.
Son of. Hang on.
Yeah.
a
The
The
Hutt?
guy from the Bears playing a Hut son.
And he is
he's
a jacked.
muscular. He's
Yeah.
jacked Hut.
Rodder the Hutt.
Right of the Hut, dude.
What
Fucking-
does a jacked Hutt look like?
Yeah.
Imagine a
Okay.
Hut with muscular ass arms, dude.
Oh, wait. Because the last time we saw him, he was a baby. So we don't.
I thought I'd seen a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's hunked up, dude. Talk about
Oh,
hunks.
yeah. Look at these fucking arms, dude.
Dude, he's jacked as fuck.
Oh.
He's jacked AF.
Well, I just searched for Buff Hutt,
What? Okay.
and I just got some great. Some-
Pornography.
I guess from a comic book.
Oh no, that's bad.
That could be Rodder. Oh, wait. No, there's a Hutt Jedi, too, I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
Yeah.
Look, Mandalorian and Grogu, I will see the movie.
Yeah. We'll
wish-
talk about it more once we get to see the trailer.
Yeah, when they let us see the trailer.
What's next?
Next, and now this is where we start going into the Wild West of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when DB Weiss and David
David Benioff?
Benioff, that's how you say his
Yeah.
name, or at least that's close to how you say his name.
So the guys who
The Game of
did
Thrones
Game of
guys.
Thrones
Yeah.
and before that Wolverine.
Yeah.
The guys who were like, why would we read fantasy? And presumably they feel the same way about
Why would I read?
sci-fi.
Why would I read?
They said,
Maybe that's
hey,
good, honestly.
Star Wars said, hey, Game of Thrones last season's just about to start, and
Yeah.
you guys are hot shit. Do you want to do a trilogy of movies? And they said, fuck yeah, we'll
How
take
much-
your
yeah,
Then
money.
Game of Thrones, the last season ended. They were like, "Hey, you know what we said? Do a trilogy? Maybe not.
Yeah. Hey, guys, you are so fine. You shit the bed.
You made a stinker, dude."
Also, they signed a deal with Star Wars. It was like it was a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And then they signed a similar deal with Netflix for a shit ton of money. And then no one wanted them to make anything. But then they made the 3-body problem.
That's so funny, dude. That's such a funny thing to happen.
So did they? So how does it work? Star Wars was like, I'm going to pay you money to make this thing, and then they were like, all right, but they didn't make it. But do they? I'm presuming they get a some sort of fee initially.
Yeah, probably. I imagine the way it works is Star Wars is like, we're going to give you X amount of money now,
Yeah, right.
make the thing, and then they're like, actually, we don't want you to make the thing, so they take a portion of that money away.
So
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
they were announced to do it. They got offered us whatever amount of money. Then they signed a $250 million deal with Netflix.
Fuck.
And then they used that as a reason to quietly exit Lucasfilms.
I see. Then they just made the 3-body problem and nothing else, right?
Yes.
That's very funny.
And
A TV show I don't know if anyone cares about.
but yeah, people liked it.
Oh, really?
And made some. I think it did well.
I have the book
heard.
sitting on my
Oh,
shelf.
don't.
Yeah.
don't.
I've not heard
don't.
good things.
Don't they play a
Yeah.
video game in it where
Yeah, don't.
Yeah. I've not
Also,
heard.
the whole like story behind it getting made is crazy. It
Yeah.
involves like a murder. Like someone died.
What the
Like,
fuck?
Someone killed someone. It's like, yeah.
All right. I'm
yeah. Look
intrigued.
up the like, the rights to it and how it all got made, because it was like not the first time adaptation.
Yeah.
Of the 3-body problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember it now, but it's like, yeah, someone basically was just like, someone fucking killed someone.
What the fuck? Yeah, I
Like
gotta
an
look this up.
executive killed. Like it's
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy shit.
Fuck.
I forget the minutiae of it.
So, this trilogy is canceled, but they were like, hey, yeah, we wanted to go beyond the Old Republic. We wanted to make a trilogy about the first Jedi.
Oh, okay.
And then they said, Lucasfilms don't want to do that.
Okay.
Which ties into the next project, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, which is about the first Jedi.
So presumably, if,
Star Wars is interested in telling a
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
like that because that's
Yeah.
well, it's safe in theory, but
Yeah.
actually would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because if you Doctor Who learned this the hard way. If you definitively give an origin to something,
yeah.
fans
Hate
hate
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit.
yeah. Well, I was going to say, surely, I mean, again, I don't know how much they got into the writing process, but would it be a thing where like someone wrote it and then they were like, oh, they
Well, they
left,
wrote
and
the
then
script.
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, we'll grab that. There were some elements we like, so let's give that to
Yeah, dingus.
James Manigold, was it?
Yeah, James Mangold.
Not Mangold. So yeah. Then to be like,
Well-
actually, that's not too bad. Let's go with that.
Well,
oh, yeah, that could be
here's what
interesting.
happened.
Yeah.
The trilogy was announced.
Oh yeah.
Then James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie was announced. Then the trilogy was cancelled. And we didn't know that the trilogy was about the first Jedi. And when that trilogy was cancelled, they were like, yeah, we were going to do it about the first Jedi. So, hey, I think your script stunk, or they
Yeah.
saw any of the work you've done.
That's very funny. So they announced both things at the same time.
They didn't name.
But they didn't name drop anything,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they were just like, when one of them was like, "Yeah, we're leaving," they were like, "That was actually okay."
That's very funny.
Or was it a kind of thing to be like, "I'm leaving," and as a final fuck you to say that I was going to do this as a trilogy,
Yeah.
but like they don't want to do this, so then it kind of tarnishes.
Yeah, it kind of makes it seem
the-
like
yeah,
yeah.
to like hey, let's burn some bridges.
Maybe. I always
know,
remember
good on 'em.
DB Wise and David Benioff doing a cameo in Westworld.
Oh yeah,
Fuck, that's so funny. Where they just were basically like, yeah,
don't
man,
care.
fuck our franchise.
just counting money.
Yeah, they were just, it's such a funny thing to do.
So, James Mangold's movie, we didn't hear anything about for ages.
Yeah.
And people were like, yeah,
It's not happening,
you
yeah.
made Indiana Jones 5. You're not working for Disney again.
Yeah.
But then, after Indiana Jones 5, he made A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic.
Oh, I see.
Which made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the end of February 2025, suspiciously after A Complete Unknown makes a lot of money,
Yeah.
Hey, man, dude, James Mangold, he's working on a script. We're really excited about it. He was just delayed by a complete unknown.
Yeah, of course.
Was that because he also did like a Wolverine?
Yeah.
That's funny because so did
Oh,
Benioff.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
Which Wolverine did Mangold make?
He
made the. He made the. Oh wait,
No,
the.
he made like Logan.
Logan and the Wolverine.
And
wasn't
the
it?
Wolverine and Benioff and
They did
the
Wolverine.
Wolverine Origin.
Origins. Yeah.
They directed that.
Oh, wrote it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not.
Oh,
too
okay.
sure.
Well, it's got a killer script, so that makes sense.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. So good.
Fuck. Well, yeah, crazy. I mean, maybe
So,
it'll
okay,
be good. I mean,
Dawn of the First Jedi. So I mean,
Hey,
I guess we
wait.
get to finally learn about midichlorians,
yeah.
or unless they're going to be like, shut the fuck up about the midichlorians.
I mean, it is one of those things where it is dangerous to definitively give an origin for something. Like, like it's the kind of thing where.
Is it Is it an origin for the Force and an origin for that, or just an origin of how the Jedi, like the very first Jedi's, came about? Because that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're giving to be like, oh yes, it was the bugs.
Yeah.
The first commune with the bugs.
D.B. Weiss and David Benioff.
Yeah.
They wrote one episode of It's Always Sunny.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it like the episode Flowers for Charlie?
Yeah, I remember when
Yeah.
they did that.
Yeah.
It's a very funny. It was very like at the time because everybody still loved Game of Thrones. They were like, "Holy shit, they've done it and it's really funny." But
Well,
I mean, I
here's-
guess it was. I don't know.
The movies they've written. Yeah, I don't know why. Game of Thrones is how it ended makes sense.
Yeah.
When you look at their filmography, they wrote Troy.
Yeah,
They
Great
wrote
film.
Stay, which is a Ryan Gosling movie that sucks. That is clearly trying to cash in on like the Donnie Darko hype.
okay.
Okay.
You might have seen Stay. Seems like the type of movie you would have seen. It's Gosling and Jude Law, and there's a truck accident on a bridge, and then there's like anyway. It's all
Sounds
like a
great,
fucking,
but no, I
yeah,
haven't.
it's
Yeah.
like it's all a fucking dream or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, tight,
It sucks.
tight.
They wrote The Kite Runner.
Haven't seen it.
They wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Unfortunately,
They
I've
were
seen it.
Gemini Man. That's the Ang Lee movie where there's two Will Smiths.
Oh, I see. They
And
were.
real CGI.
Yeah.
They also wrote Metal Lords, which
Okay.
That sounds
It
like
is
a fake film.
Metal.
it's
Lords.
a Netflix movie. So yeah,
Oh.
it's a fake film. Got a 62% of Rotten Tomatoes and was probably and 59 on Metacritic, and I presume was seen by about 7 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sure that'll be all right. Dawn of the Jedi.
Yeah, that could be kind of interesting. Like again, exploring like the first person to be like, I can move something with my
my
brain.
mind,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And so long as they keep it vague and they don't give too many answers away,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could definitely do something like
It'll be interesting to see a Star Wars
Hmm.
movie that, like, obviously, the classic thing people say about Star Wars is like, oh, it's extremely soft sci-fi to the
Yeah.
point where it's basically fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you were doing a Dawn of the Jedi story,
It
would
becomes
be
even more fantasy.
extremely fantasy.
Oh, 100%. Because like you could-
Swords,
Swords, dude.
well, yeah, you'd be doing shit.
sticks,
Actually, if you-
cavemen Star Wars.
Yeah, because you'd be
Okay.
doing shit. Yeah, without like lightsabers, without like blasters.
But
that
it's
kind
funny
of
because
stuff.
you're like,
Yeah.
if you take the technological jump backwards from blasters, it's like what? Like guns? Like
Hmm.
bullets?
Well, in Knights of the Old Republic, they do vibroblades.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Which are like-
yeah,
It's kind of like,
vibrating blades.
yeah,
Oh, no.
sort of, I guess they're being like, well, that was what happened before lightsabers.
Yeah,
They had blades that vibrated.
and so I guess
Is that
prior to
bad?
that they had just blades
Just
that did
knives?
vibrate.
But James
Why
Mangold,
has no one invented the vibrating knife? Is that bad? Is it bad to get stabbed by a vibrating knife?
well, yeah, it would make the knife wound bigger.
Yeah, you
I
stab,
guess it would make it
and then
harder to
keeps
sew
just
up,
like
I suppose. Yeah.
well, and also you're stabbing someone, then you're vibrating the shit out of them.
Yeah, dude.
I hope that comes with a dial. You could
Yeah.
just like stab.
James Mangold's got like a weird filmography. Well, not that
Did he
weird.
do some Bond stuff?
It's no.
No. Okay.
It's relatively like respectful.
Yeah.
But he makes
Respectable.
respectable.
Yeah.
Copland was him.
Oh, yeah.
Never seen.
Walk the Line.
Oh, yeah.
Identity, which is another movie that's like,
Great film.
yeah,
So stupid.
yeah. Identity. So you remember
Scar,
in the early
yeah,
2000s how everything became a psychological
Is
thriller?
Identity the movie where it's like a
They're
bunch
in a
of guys?
motel and
Yeah.
someone's a
Yeah,
murderer.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
crazy
Dr.
that I
Cox
just needed
there.
to say is Identity and you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Cox is there. John Cusack is there. The
Yeah.
guy that got the thing where he's like eyes constantly move is there. Who I
that's
think he's
right.
going to be like Pa Kent in the Superman films.
Ray Liotta's there. there.
Ray Liotta's there.
Or Leota, I guess, if you want to say his name right. Me.
Nah.
Well,
I
yeah,
do not.
whatever.
Yeah,
dude.
fair enough.
Yeah, and it's revealed that, guess what? It was the child. The kid was the one that did it all.
They're all in his
Oh,
brain.
wrong. Actually, they're
Yeah.
all on his brain, and he's on.
It's inside out, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inside out. And if the right personality, if the evil personality gets killed in his brain, then they're not going to give him the death penalty.
Yeah.
That's
it's
stupid.
That's
the
dumb
evil
as fuck.
personality in his brain, so they have to make sure like they're all fighting for the one seat. And then John Cusack, because he's the good one, I think he's like, I want to say it was it's Ray Liotta maybe.
Yeah.
He's the villain, or it's like they're the main bad guy, and they got to protect the child, and then we got to kill the Ray Liotta whatever, and then it's like up to like John Cusack and maybe the kid, and he's like, I'll sacrifice myself so that the person in charge is
I
going to be
see.
kid or whatever. But then it's like, almost like the fucking Saw music starts coming in to be like, bum, bum, and then like, flashbacks of like, he killed everybody. He's responsible for everyone dying.
Fuck, dude.
What if? And then I think it comes back out, and then there's like, the guy whose brain is being, insided out.
Yeah.
He's just in the back of a cop car, and then I'm not sure how he orchestrates it, but the cop car does a flip maybe
Yeah.
and goes
Okay.
into a ditch.
And he
I don't know.
escapes?
Maybe the kid had also extra strength. Hard to
Okay.
say.
Walk the line,
yeah.
310 to Yuma. Then
I like 310 to humor.
do you like the Tom Cruise, Cammy Diaz movie, Night and Day?
I've heard like it's surprisingly good. Never seen it.
I feel
but
like
I've
I've heard the same thing,
That it's
yeah.
like it leans into that Tom Cruise being crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it was a moderate box office. It did okay at the box office.
310 to humor is great because it's mostly Christian Bale looking sweaty.
Mm.
It's him in bad circumstances, which I think is a pretty solid recipe for a good movie.
I agree.
Put Christian Bale under the pump and you got a good film.
The Wolverine, Logan, Ford vs. Ferrari, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not many like
Ford
the-
v Ferrari was really good.
Yeah, these are movies. Hey,
Le Mans, whatever.
unlike a certain director we've already spoken about today that I hate
Yes.
and would take $5 and wreck his movie.
Yeah.
yes.
James Mangold movies look good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if he's given a good script,
Yeah.
it doesn't really like he will make a good movie. Sean Levy's movies look like the inside of an asshole.
Yeah, dude. Yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Again, I think that could be a fun thing if it's looking at like the first Jedi or like the very first Force sensitive person, because that could be like a fun little thing. And I don't know if there's enough there, and probably is enough for a trilogy.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't make it. I like that. Like we're gonna make a trilogy. Like, hey. Make one film
Yeah, yeah.
first,
Oh, yeah,
please.
Yeah, I think it would be-
to see if we like this kind of idea, and then maybe if you wanted
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
a sequel. But let's maybe don't go with the whole thing of like we're making a trilogy, because I'm like exploring how this all sort of came to be before you had like Sith and Jedi, before you had all of that sort of like bullshit, and just be like, okay, where are we technologically? Like, are we looking at? Do we still have? I
think it's
planetary. Like, can they
I
still
think
travel
they
to different
do.
planets? Can we still do like? Yeah, and that's kind of could be fun.
Yeah, I think it could be very interesting. I mean, Star Wars does have that funny thing where fantasy has the same problem too. And I guess Star Wars is fantasy, so it makes sense. Where there's actually like very little technological change.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there is, I guess, but it's not.
Yeah, we got vibro blades, and now we've got
Yeah,
lightsabers.
it's
pretty
not
cool.
like.
But yes,
But yeah, anyway,
It would be
I think
kind of-
it could be interesting.
it would be cool to see how they go about doing.
Well,
that.
another thing
If
that
it
they've
happens.
announced and could be the same thing, could be a different thing. There was no director attached to this, but they said, we're making a Knights of the Old Republic movie.
Yeah.
People said,
Okay.
but you made that not canon and now you're going to canonize it again? That's good
absolutely.
for us,
That
actually.
just comes from
Okay.
they re-released Knights of the Old Republic because they did the remaster or whatever.
Did they,
Did they?
Jackson? Did they re-release Knights of the Old Republic?
They kept saying they did.
they
and then
showed
they
a
were like,
trailer.
we
Now that's
fucked
all
it.
the information we've
I
got.
assumed it was out by now.
No.
bro.
Very funny.
They're like, we're gonna do it. No, we fucked.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah, because like every single thing they've said about it. So yeah, it was originally being made by Saber Interactive, and then they moved it to Aspia.
Because my assumption, because I imagine this happens a lot, right? Is they announce, they go, we're doing a Knights of the Old Republic remaster, gets a bit of hype because people love that game. And then somewhere in the fucking upper echelons of like producers and actors and directors, someone's like, we should make a movie. And they go, yeah, you know what? Let's get into the talks to make a Knights of the Old Republic movie. And that's it. And then that gets out and someone says, we're making a Knights of the Old Republic movie when it's literally just a twinkle in some producer's eye. And it's not, they're not really going to make the movie.
No.
It's just like a, you know.
Again, if they're going to do a Knights of the Old Republic, I'd assume it's kind of based on the video game. But you kind of don't want that to be, because the video game is such like a... Again, it's like one of those things that people really, really liked. Like in my head, I'm like, I think that was probably like how I,
got into Star Wars.
Got into Star Wars, like actually like really started liking Star Wars because again, you watch the movies as a kid, you're like,
yeah.
But like that was a great storyline, everything like that. And like
2 very iconic endings, depending on which way you went.
Like it's 2 very iconic endings. Like
rare for a video game to have 2.
Yeah.
Both
were good if you went it down either way.
There's 2 twists, depending on which way you go.
And also, it's like, are you going, even in terms of like, who is like, Revan? It's like, are they, male or female looking? Again, it's like all very much like. You made that decision. You were in control of that.
Yeah.
You wanted to do that. It's kind of like making a Mass Effect film.
Movie,
you kind of like everyone being like, yeah, Shepard, and they're like, big hunky man. I'm like, Femshep. What are we doing here? I don't understand.
But then also, like, The Last of Us is just like, I mean, I know that is a narrative already, but
The Last of Us video game is famous because it doesn't let you make any choices. Like, as in, like, the people hate The Last of Us Part 2 because
there is Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this is Joel, and these are the decisions he will make.
Yeah.
Okay, can I change his name?
No. And that's why
it's a great game for you.
it's a good game for me. I don't want to make my own guy and make my own decisions. Let me play
A guy.
It's so funny how little emotional investment I ever had in. Like, I've nearly finished The Last of Us Part 1. I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah, because you didn't get to choose what you do.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, you probably have emotion. Do you cry when you play Skyrim because you're role playing
all the
as
time,
you?
dude. I say, yeah, I'm a lizard man called like farts in the bath or whatever, and I'm in tears of character creation.
Yeah. I have to do what for the Assassin Guild? Oh my god, I really like that character. Farts in the bath. Once again, you got to do something you don't want to do.
Soul.
But you're doing it for some sick dagger.
You got to get that fucking cool loot. Farts in the bath.
Well, both Knights of the Republic wanted to have canon
Yes. Canon
endings and character selections.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Knights of the Old Republic 1, the canon ending is you're playing as a male character and you get the full light side ending. Knights of the Old Republic 2, full light side ending, but you're playing as a female character.
Interesting. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, anyway, good stuff. That
I mean,
movie's-
they could have done
the
that.
movie and that game not coming out.
No.
Yeah.
Did they have anything to be like, oh yeah, we have a script written by or
No.
a director? They were just like, well,
Knights of the Old Republic movie.
It's going to happen, guys. Because again, if they followed the storyline of the game, you're like, that's interesting. But they could have done something which is very like, it's set in the same era.
Yeah.
No, I think they were just like, fuck it.
I imagine it would be a straight.
But I imagine it would have
'cause
been
that's,
like,
that's where you want to.
no, we'll do it.
You're trying to make a guys movie if you're
Yeah.
doing that. So you
Here's a question for that kind of thing. So, for example, we've got Knights of the Old Republic, we have this game that we played. We have it's basically been storyboarded. It's been written. We have everyone's like dialogue right there. We even have almost shots, right? It's all there, right? So we could just storyboard this all together, put it together, make it and film this, right? And we know the twists. But we also know, like, we have like the light side ending or the dark side ending, but canon-wise, we're going light side, right?
Yeah.
So we actually have this all laid out to us. Do you just make that because you're like, well, it's going to be, I guess, an exercise in making this film, an exercise in like adapting this to a live action. We don't have to change anything because the blueprint is there.
Yeah.
We have this thing. And like, during the filmmaking process, say actors might want to improvise some lines or whatever, and we're going to see what happens, right?
You think that's a knife? This is a knife.
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee
Yeah.
reference.
I've got
nice.
dysentery, so I'm just going to shoot him instead of stab him.
Yeah.
So again, there's like that kind of stuff there. So you have that as a template. Or are you like, no, I'm a filmmaker. I want to put my own stamp, so I'm going to change literally everything.
Oh, I think it would be. I do not think that they would go, we've got it all here. I just don't think that's how Hollywood works. I just don't think they do that,
Because I'm like,
Anyway.
it's like in my head, I'm like, you have everything right there. Just do that.
Yeah.
But then
Oh, they
them,
absolutely-
so often they're like, no.
Hey, this
we
might be a
must not.
crazy take, but sometimes just making a story in one medium is fine.
Yeah, that's plenty,
hey,
dude.
Bro, I agree.
I like the Last of Us TV show, but if that was just a game series, That would be good.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic, you don't need to make a movie.
You made it as a game.
You don't
that's
need to
fine.
remake it either.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Some of the rumors that have come out about the remake. You've
on.
also upset. Hey, it's not turn-based anymore. It's just an action RPG. Yeah.
Why?
That would be like
Commercial appeal, I guess.
If you're gonna remake it, I
just
mean, like,
re-fucking
yeah,
make it.
like I was kind of excited for the whole thing because it's kind of like, oh, cool, like updated graphics, great. You know, the same storyline, all this kind of stuff, but it's updated graphics and it'll actually run smoother on your whatever you're playing it on.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like look for some like bullshit to try and make it work on like, whatever you're playing it on. I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. You have the blueprint. You have it all right there. It's there.
No, dude, throw it out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Now I
Don't
get
do that.
there's a that's a whole saying.
Yeah.
So why just.
That's
Like,
just what
okay,
happens. The
like, we'll do a-
Oblivion
we'll do a
remake is
hacking.
coming out soon.
We'll do a hack and slash.
You know the Oblivion? They're doing the full
Yeah.
Oblivion
Yeah, at time of
remaster
recording,
and stuff.
it's not out, but when you hear this episode, it might be out
Yeah.
because there's rumors.
Yeah. And like rumors dropped by the developers and
Yeah.
stuff, like leaks. But anyway, they've added like Dark Souls mechanics to that. You just add whatever's popular, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever's got the most commercial appeal. That's how you do it, baby.
I hope they put Fortnite in the new Tony Hawk games.
Bro,
'cause
that would be
Fortnite's-
awesome.
Fortnite's popular.
I don't understand the kind of like, okay, cool. We have turn-based modes. So the whole thing was like turn-based mode to then be like, no, it's an action hack and slash.
Yeah.
But then you're like, but the whole thing was kind of based on.
Oh, it wasn't even turn-based. What would it?
it
It's
was
like,
turn-based because it was, it
No,
was
it's
real
like
time with pause.
It's like D&D rules.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was like you could queue
You
your stuff
stacked,
out, and it was based on a D20. Like it was
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on like.
Well, what I imagine
Yeah, it is.
happens.
It's D.
What I imagine happens is you go, okay, like where the developers are, I'm a producer or whatever, and I've invested money in this, and then you come back to me and you say, yeah, so we've made it exactly like it'll appeal to the people who played it the first time, and I go, yeah, cool. What about people who haven't played it? What about the average schmuck? An average Joe fuck ass.
Yeah.
He likes a hack and slash.
Yeah.
dude.
Make it more like Diablo.
It's got to be more like it is.
Well,
you know,
it'd be
and then
more
you-
like the Final Fantasy. See, I think what happened is Final Fantasy VII Remake
Yeah.
did really well. So,
Yeah.
like, let's take the combat from that. But then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Yeah.
whatever the second one's called, didn't do that well.
No,
so now
yeah,
they're
yeah.
probably just like, fuck.
Yeah, I played
Well,
a
and
little
also-
bit of that, and it was I don't know. I couldn't get behind the
Combat?
The combat.
Yeah.
There is also like something to be said. Like
it's
I,
old.
Oh, and also the Star Wars Jedi games did well. Like
Yeah.
Fallen Order and
Fallen Order and-
Okay.
Survivor.
I have no stake in
But they're
this, no
Dark
dog in this
Soulsy.
fight. But I know that there is this thing I see people complain about sometimes when they play a remaster that's like graphically updated and has like an updated UI.
But the gameplay's
The
bad.
gameplay's the same. They go, this is fun, but the gameplay does feel dated.
Dude, you got to check out Croc. They remade Croc and it's not tank controls anymore.
That is fucking awesome. I didn't know they remade Croc. I knew they were gonna.
You got to go on GOG to play it.
You
but
got
it's
to
there.
find the gobbos, dude.
Yeah, dude. I wonder if it is on Steam.
Fuck, that's awesome, dude.
This is what people come to baseless speculation for.
Gotta find out about Croc
is
and the
Croc,
gobbos.
is Croc on Steam or is it only on GOG? If you're not a gamer,
Well,
does this make sense? No.
It's funny, you know.
Croc
people-
is not on Steam. GOG.
I'm gonna start my own AI to compete with Grok called Croc, and it just gives you answers about the video game Croc when you ask. I think that'll be really
everything
good.
is based around like that's
Okay,
all very
sure,
well,
sure.
but in Croc.
yeah.
Holy
I don't know.
shit,
In
dude.
Croc.
It's 45 Australian dollars.
Fuck. I'm not spending that for Croc, dude.
Dude, but it's exclusive to GOG.
Not worth it. $45 for Croc?
Yeah, but
Go to hell.
But you also get a free copy of the classic version of Croc Legend of the Gobbos.
Fuck, sold.
and because it's on GOG, you get to keep it forever or whatever.
Oh, that is true,
Dude,
actually.
what the fuck? Croc came out on the 2nd of April.
That's crazy.
45 levels?
we go.
Why did Dusha just become Scooby Doo?
45 levels? Raggy.
We gotta play Rock.
We gotta play Rock, Raggy. Yeah, maybe we gotta become Croc, guys.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, well,
Croc
only
speculation.
the good news is it's DRM free, so
That's what
we
I'm
can
saying.
we can
buy
buy
one copy.
one, and then the
Well,
whole
there we
company
go.
gets Croc Legend of the Gobbos. We can get Gobbo Madness.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm already there.
I do remember
Yeah.
hiring Croc out from Blockbuster.
Yeah,
as a
being like,
child.
fuck, why does Croc control like
Yeah,
shit?
being like, this is so hard. I
I played
wasted
it.
my money.
I tried to play it again during lockdown, and I forgot that there was tank controls.
It's
and
awful.
Fucking hell, those Gobbos stayed lost.
But yeah, it's crazy that like you get a revamped old game. They're like, oh, it plays like ours. Why don't you adapt it to modern, my modern gameplay? And you're like, but
Yeah, I think it
mean,
depends on the
you
game,
can't-
honestly.
can't-
When the first Dark Souls came out, people were like, this plays like arse, and now
Yeah.
every game wants to be Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think the Dark Souls remaster did do some like finessing of the controls to
Yeah,
make
it's
them
because
smoother.
FromSoft really,
FromSoft's awesome because they don't listen to anyone.
they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, games are meant to be hard. This isn't an escape from reality. It's a reminder that life is meaningless
Yeah.
and fuck you.
And then what's his face, Miyazaki or whatever, will be like, I put in another swamp because it gets me off. There are interviews like that where he's like, yeah, I'm always shocked that people hate the suffering. I find it delightful. Fuck yeah, brother.
It's meditative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's next?
Look, there's I'll just rattle off a few that aren't interesting to talk about.
Okay.
I'll
We
be
had-
the decision of that. Yeah, okay, go on.
Well, there was that video of Patty Jenkins announcing her movie Rogue Squadron, which has clearly just become Star Wars Starfighter.
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
my dad was a pilot in the army, and I love Top Gun. And I'm going to walk down this runway and put on an outfit that's the Rebel,
Yeah.
the Rogue Squadron outfit, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
standing
yeah.
in front of an X-Wing. And then I'm going to release Wonder Woman 1984, and no one's going to want me to make a movie again.
Yeah, dude.
What happened? Like with 84, was that all like look,
Yeah.
a bad film?
Yeah.
Terrible film.
Yeah, it was all her.
It was all her?
Yeah.
That was just like undefeated, like, hey, you did Wonder Woman and we loved it.
Yeah.
And it made money. So, hey, go ham.
Yeah.
And he was like, brother, genius.
Let me
made
just double
one-
check,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm fairly
You
sure
made
that
Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman,
Which
relatively
yeah.
watchable in spite of Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet somehow when it came time to the sequel,
so, like, you
made,
can do anything you want.
Yeah.
We got Pedro Pascal. He
Yeah.
can be the
You've got-
villain.
what a cast.
What a cast.
Pedro Pascal, you've got what's her face? Kristen Wiig
Mm-hmm.
coming in to play
She gonna
Cheetah.
play some cat lady.
That's
Then
exciting.
we got the Star Trek guy.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah, he's
John
back.
Star Trek.
Through
Chris-
sex crimes.
Chris
Pine.
Chris Pine.
They brought him back, but through using a
Oh,
man's
they
body.
did bring him back through sex crimes.
It's so fucked up.
Fuck.
They used magic sex crimes
They
to bring Chris Pine back.
Did.
Yeah, it's crazy how
Wow.
bad Wonder Woman. Because there were a lot of bad movies coming out. I think when Wonder Woman 1984 came out, because it was the middle of like the DCEU. We don't think about how terrible that movie was.
That was really
It
bad.
was based off a wish. There was a wish that was the main
Yeah.
threat.
Yeah. And Pedro
Dude, we
Pascal,
spoke
he
about
went
it
wish
all.
crazy
Yeah.
at the end. He's like, you
so-
get a wish, you get a wish, you get a wish,
You get a wish.
And yeah, and that was all her, huh?
And there was Maxwell Lord. He was playing like an iconic Wonder Woman villain.
Well,
too.
Maxwell Lord's back in
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah,
Anyway, Patty Jenkins directed the first Wonder Woman, but the screenplay was written by Alan Heinberg,
Okay.
who I believe wrote the Wonder Woman comic. He also wrote not Young Avengers, Young Justice?
Oh yeah.
Young.
Young Justice is the
Youngblood?
DC one.
No, yeah, but
Teen
fuck,
Titans?
What did he write? He wrote.
Some comic.
Young and the
Oh, no,
Restless.
he did. Yeah, he did. He wrote Young Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I guess when Patty
and
Jenkins
then-
got the reins, she
and-
whiffed it.
Yeah. So screenplay was by Alan Heinberg, and the story was by Zack Snyder.
What?
Zacky boy.
Zacky boy.
Chalk up one win for
Yeah,
Zack.
I'll give it to him, dude.
No, I wouldn't call it like the Wonder Woman first. I wouldn't call it a win. I would just call that hey, that was like not a loss.
It was one of the
Batman v
better.
Superman was his best movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
obviously.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
But then 1984 is directed by Patty Jenkins, screenplay by Patty Jenkins, story by Patty Jenkins.
It's a Patty Jenkins special, dude.
So yeah, Rogue Squadron mysteriously
What
disappeared.
what did she do prior to Wonder Woman? Was that like
Yeah.
She made a movie like. She made
she
Monster.
okay? Is she
Oh.
Hurt Locker as well?
No, that's,
someone else. Okay.
That's James Cameron's ex-wife.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually sexist for not knowing.
Catherine.
This.
Yeah.
Catherine
Someone with a B.
Bigelow.
Okay.
But Patty Jenkins, she was the producer for a movie called Pool Man,
Oh,
starring Chris Pine in 2023.
Yeah, do you know about Pool Man?
I don't
No.
think so.
Oh, you'd love Pool Man.
Tell us more about Pool Man.
Chris Pine decided to make a movie. It's his directorial debut.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be like an off-kilter comedy about a pool man who, I can't remember if it's like a murder plot or something.
Yeah.
It premiered at Cannes and everyone was like, this is the worst movie of the year. Fuck you. This movie sucks.
That's awesome. I gotta watch Pool Man.
Yeah, it's his directorial debut. That's right. And
Fuck.
Wow.
Pool Man,
And
dude.
there's a reason why he's stuck to acting.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, so Patty Jenkins, like,
Patty-
hey,
yeah.
riding high from Wonder Woman, was like, I'm gonna do basically my Top Gun. 184 comes out. Everyone's like,
Ooh, Patty, Bubby, what are you doing?
Everybody shush.
Yeah.
We're firing Patty Jenkins.
Wishes are not cool. You know?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't
Look,
make a wish
They
cool.
made it cool once in the Aladdin
Yes.
animated film.
That's true,
and
that's
that's
true.
kind of it.
And that's like, if a genie's wish.
But I don't, have they ever made wishes apart from that at all good?
Well,
or
Wish is good in
interesting?
the Disney movie Wish.
No, people hated them in that too.
Yeah.
Here's what IndieWire had to say about Pool Man. They gave it a 0.
Oh my God.
It's only 100 minutes long, but upwards of 99 of those minutes are likely to be spent in silent boredom, if not irritated disbelief at being subjected to such artless nonsense. Observer gave it a 0. Not only is it one of the worst movies I've seen this year, this dog is one of the worst movies ever made.
Whoa.
Fuck you, Chris
I
Pine.
gotta watch Pool Man, dude. Hey, based on speculation, plus listeners, get ready to hear me review Chung-Chi. Let me just say.
Conspiracies are everywhere in Pool Man, although the greatest mystery might be how anyone involved was attracted to this tidal wave of dire-ness.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like a wonderful movie.
I'm excited, dude.
Yeah.
What other, rattle off some other ones.
Taika Waititi movie.
Yeah.
He then made Thor: Love and Thunder, and then we have not heard anything about this movie.
It's great when, it's like, hey, you've set up to make a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Because, again, you're thinking, like, Star Wars, that's money, and I like money.
Yeah,
That's money in the
bank,
bag.
dude.
Oh, sick. And then they fuck up monumentally.
Yeah.
And then you just never hear from them again.
Kevin Feige was going to make his directorial debut with a Star Wars movie.
What?
Okay, hey, then the Marvels came out. Then we haven't heard anything about
It's
it.
very funny to be like, hey, Kevin Feige, look, he hasn't directed a film,
Yeah.
but he has produced an executive produced and basically the guess what, the head of all the money in the world, making
Marvel
the whole
Cinematic
Marvel
Universe.
Yeah.
Universe. Incredible. So it's kind of like, wow, he's proven to make money. He's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Depending how many fingers were in that pie or whatever. He's like, well done. And so he's like, never directed anything before. So let's give him like a little, we'll try him out, a little something,
Yeah.
a little small little
See what
thing
he
of like a
does.
Star Wars film.
Yeah, start him just something small.
Like,
Star Wars.
buddy, I don't know, direct a commercial. Like, I don't know, man.
God, that's crazy.
There was
That's
also
wonderful. That's very, very wonderful. Like, what could that have been? Like,
But I think that the trick is that it's not anything.
it's not anything. Yeah,
I think they just go, hey man, Kevin Feige, he's got some hate in his name.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to direct a Star Wars film? They have some meeting. He goes, yeah. Then it gets out to the press. They go, he's directing a Star Wars film, but there's like
all right,
there's like less than 1% of
like a script.
a script. Yeah, exactly. It's just that you.
Same with Taika Waititi, because you're like, okay, what in my head would be a good Star Wars thing for him?
Yeah.
and you kind of want to base it kind of like on the his earlier stuff or stuff that he seems to like, which is almost that like like The Office kind of thing, like the faux documentary kind of stuff. Like you see all the little shorts he did with Thor and his buddy.
Yeah,
I would like to
regular guy.
apologize for my misinformation.
Oh,
Kevin Feige was never attached to direct it. He was serving as a head producer.
I
Okay,
see.
then.
It was announced on September 25, 2019. In 2023, it was canceled.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Rest
It's a
in
real
peace.
one. So yeah, so again, it's like he seems to really like doing those kind of like offbeat kind of characters, straight to a camera,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
quirky, whatever. And like same with Hunt for the Wilder People, like kind of real kind of
Yeah,
like
it's quirky.
a quirky kind of very simple adventure,
Low-key,
very
yeah.
low key. And so you kind of want something like that, but you set that in like Star Wars, right? And be like, that could be interesting. Maybe he would have cared.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because you look at the first Thor he directed, you're like, well, this is fun. It's
Yeah.
refreshing. It's a bit of a comedy, but not
kind of a good
really.
time, yeah.
And everyone seems to be enjoying themselves.
yeah.
And then the next one comes
Well,
out.
go.
And look,
guess
hey,
he stopped caring at
Yeah.
this point. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hate it as much as everyone else did, but I can clearly see that he stopped caring.
yeah. There's not a lot of effort put into the movie. It's also a funny thing, and I don't really know where
He's also just lost his touch. I mean, like Next Goal Wins sucks as well, and that was
Yeah.
a passion project for him.
Yeah.
So
What else has he made since?
that's it. They both bombed, so he probably won't be making much.
Oh, I guess our flag means death.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Didn't he?
People like that.
Wasn't there also something with that though?
I don't know. I think there's a sort of a funny thing, and I genuinely don't really know how I feel about this, but like the idea of Taika, and it feels like maybe it would be the kind of thing I would have been excited about. Maybe I'm too cynical, I don't know. But like if they were like Taika Waititi is releasing like a new Star Wars movie, and it's basically like Hunt for the Wilder People, but in Star Wars. Some part of me is like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess, but like, is there anything to be said? Like, is he saying anything about Star Wars, or is he using it in any interesting way to make an interesting point, or is it just like this is this director's vibe? I saw a thing the other day that I can't stop thinking about, where somebody had posted their art, and I forget what it was. It was like, say it was a sculpture made in an interesting way of Batman or whatever.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, man, there's no art anymore. There's only juxtaposition. And I cannot stop thinking about that because it's so true.
Dude,
and
take a look around you. We're creating this.
I know, dude. I'm part of the problem.
You're a
but I
big part
think
of the
about
problem.
if you did a Taika Waititi movie that was just Star Wars with Taika Waititi's vibe, I'm like, it's the same fucking thing. That's just juxtaposition. You're just going, oh, isn't it interesting that it's Taika Waititi's style but set in space?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
here's
not anything.
I mean,
I'm like-
here's the thing, though, Jackson. That's all art always. You've just put looking at it through a different lens because pop culture's consumed your brain.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I don't know if that's all art always.
it's the hero's journey. It's like, well, this is just the hero's journey, but set in space. It's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of. That's not really what I'm saying, though.
You're saying everything's Batman now, and what if
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, as in,
I'm
like,
saying everything's Batman.
everything's
now.
something, but through something else's lens?
Well, kind of. It's like so much of like the content you see online, and even the artistic content you see online, is like it's this thing, but through this lens. It's this thing, but through this lens.
You're not saying anything.
You're not saying
just
anything.
Doing
You're
the
not
same
doing
thing.
anything about
Like-
it. It's just like, and then you see where there's so much hate for like, you know, kind of like art that is weird or interesting,
Yeah.
where it's like a guy fucking tipping over pots or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And people are like, "This sucks." Where's break? I don't know, man.
Where's Batman?
Where's Batman?
We're always asking ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like thinking about like a Taika Waititi film, but again, it's like you
He
know,
actually
again,
is working on a new movie,
like-
and it's a sci-fi film, a dystopian
sci-fi?
sci-fi film. So I guess there's
Hey.
his Star Wars ideal.
Yeah.
He's
So,
like-
adapting a novel though.
Interesting.
Okay.
Clara and the Sun.
Don't know it. I was
The
like
eighth.
thinking about like again,
Yeah.
talking about the vibe, and like you're right, because like again, you want him to like, oh hey, can you do Hunt for the Wilder People, but in space?
Yeah.
And you're like, but I've already said that in the film. Why do I need to do that again?
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking something like a vibe, but like again, it's that kind of either that underdog or that person who's like, you know, trying really hard to achieve something, but is being told constantly like you can't do this. So I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh, it could be fun. It's like, and you want to lean towards comedy because he's better in that. To have like, okay, what about, you know, a kid who is like, you know, like the son or the daughter of two very famous like Jedi, and wherever you want to set this, and they go to like Jedi Academy, but they have no force like bullshit. And so it's just them trying so hard
Hey.
to just be in that, like to have a place there. And like, you know, it's a bit offbeat, but it's like, you know, look, I know you're trying, and like, you know, but it's, you could have something like that.
Here's a crazy
but-
claim. I think that Taika Waititi's actually bad at comedy, but he's good at offbeat and heartwarming stuff. Because like,
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Okay, how about that? It's offbeat,
What we-
heartwarming with elements
Yeah.
of comedy.
Yeah.
And
'Cause,
so you
like-
could have something like that.
I'm
where it's
sure he
like,
could make a good movie.
Oh, I'm not saying that. Yeah,
like,
we're
he
all-
has.
yeah.
Boy fucking rules.
Yeah, I love
What we
Hunt
do
for
in
the
the
Wilder
Shadows is
People.
really good. I haven't seen Hunt for the Wilder People,
It's
and
great.
I'm
So good.
scared to go back now just because.
No,
No,
it's
I
good.
think Hunt for the Wilder
Although-
People would hold up.
I think-
Did he do Shark and Eagle? Is that
Yeah,
his first
Shark
movie?
versus Eagle.
Shark versus Eagle's a great movie too.
Jojo Rabbit stinks,
Yeah, I
but
didn't
I
like
know
Jojo
that.
Rabbit,
But that's
yeah.
okay. Everyone, you're allowed to make a stinker every now and
You
then.
are.
I just wouldn't make 3 in a row if I was him. But that's
Hey,
okay.
hey, I don't. I look.
But Jojo
I
Rabbit
reckon,
got nominated for Best Picture, so maybe I should just shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
maybe you don't know what
should.
you're
Or maybe the
talking about,
Academy should shut the fuck up and start watching.
Start listening to you.
Oh, yeah,
today.
yeah, today as of time of recording, you got to watch the film.
You're not allowed to vote on the Oscars unless you've watched every film nominated in the category.
How
So
are they
they're
going to prove that?
predicting.
How are they going to prove that? Anyway,
Well,
how are they going to police it? Whatever.
Are they going to make them sit down and do a marathon? That would
I mean,
be awesome.
it could be like an account thing where you have to log in and like
yeah.
if it's like Netflix style, they'll be able to tell if you've.
That's true.
I mean, there is-
Here's the screeners. You got to watch them, and we
Yeah,
will
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, like
It's
yes,
all
there is-
online, not sent out.
There is still ways to fucking cheat that system, but as in like that adds another step anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
will
It'll has fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's that kind of like in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, that could be a fun little thing.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
But again, it's like you don't want that to be a trilogy. You want that to be a once-off, and it could just be like, yeah, you are saying something, and it's like you're saying the
guess
same
what it
thing
feels
about
like
like.
to
Well,
me-
the good news is it's never going to happen.
course.
So
Yeah, yeah,
don't
so it's
worry
not-
about
so
it.
So yeah, don't worry about it. We've got this
Yeah.
new dystopian sci-fi
Yeah.
thing. That's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be fun.
Clara and the Sun.
Clara and the
It's about a
Sun.
robot that exists to ease the loneliness of people she lives with.
Fuck yeah.
Played
dude.
by Jenna Ortega.
Man,
Okay.
I was at my family Easter on the weekend.
Hey, happy Easter.
Thanks, man.
Christ
and my
is risen.
grandpa just started. This is a crazy thing. He just out of nowhere. He started talking about. He's like, "Yeah, I'm writing a story." I was like, "Oh yeah," and
It's
he's like,
Star Wars.
He's like, it's about a girl. She's more like a robot. God, it's hard to write, and that's all I got from.
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome.
My grandpa's writing a story about some robot. This is the first I'm hearing about it. What's he doing up there?
Yeah.
Anyway, very enigmatic from old grandpa.
Yeah, that is mysterious.
It is mysterious.
We
It's
should
a
adapt
girl.
it-
It's more of a robot. I can't finish it.
Yeah,
Is
writing
he
a story is
making-
hard.
Yeah, is he making Megan?
I don't know. We moved on.
Yeah.
I'll never know till he dies, and I go through his work, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
go,
of course.
time to publish this under my name.
Yeah. Jackson Bailey presents Girl Robot.
Jackson, this stinks.
Dude, this is
Did you read this?
No,
No,
yeah.
dude. I
I
just thought
wrote
it'd be
it.
$1 million bucks.
Yeah.
I
Just
wrote it too.
The muse flowed through me or whatever, because writing's hard. Girl robot? Yeah. What,
Have you
what
made
happened?
money off this, Jackson?
No, I've lost
Lost
money.
money,
I'm
but you
10K
gotta
in
lose
the
money
hole.
to make money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you gotta send good money after good or whatever there is.
Yeah, you gotta put it all on black or you never win.
And I chose to put it all on girl in bracket robot. Mate.
Yeah, dude, I live in the house and the house always wins.
I'm a thinker.
I'm thinking, dude.
And dude, you gotta chase your losses because they can't run forever.
Exactly,
Nothing
man.
can run forever.
Nothing
Not
can
even
run.
cheaters.
Yeah.
That is true. They must die eventually.
Look, I'll just rattle off the rest that are here. There's not a lot to say. Lando starring Donald Glover. That's obviously not going to happen because Solo was like their Star
And
Wars
also,
is
I
big
don't
in-
think that was ever legitimately a movie.
Well, it was like a movie. It was a
I
TV
think it's just
series.
the thing where they see that you're like, oh, that's good casting.
Well, I think it's like,
And then-
yeah, it was good casting, and they probably would have floated it because,
Yeah.
like,
I think it was.
and then
I feel like it was.
sucked.
Yeah,
so then
yeah.
like,
Yeah, no.
I'm
but
pretty
he
sure
was
it was.
good in.
Look, this is purely speculation, but I feel like it was announced as a series, and then they're like, no, it's going to be a movie, and then
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Was he good as Lando
Yeah.
in Solo? Like a Solo stinky film.
He
Was
seemed like
good?
great casting at
Like
the
in my
time.
head, I was like, was it a good?
Well, I think the thing is, and I don't know if this is a bold claim.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was good Lando like, I don't.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, if you've got Lando existing how Lando is in Empire Strikes Back, and then you cast
Donald
Yeah.
Glover.
Donald Glover, do they feel like the same character?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I guess maybe the idea is that you build toward that. you know-
Andor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like
In a world where you had the time,
Dude,
maybe.
you know what's gonna be crazy? When you rewatch Rogue One after watching Andor season 2, and the first thing he does is shoot a guy in the back.
Yeah.
That's
And for me
pretty
to be
good.
like, that makes sense.
yeah, good even.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And then
Well,
at the end
he
of Rogue
shot
One,
those
when,
spoilers for the beginning of Andor, but it starts with him shooting two cops.
Yeah, hell
so
yeah. and
you know.
and his story ends with him getting blowed up by the Death Star.
Yeah,
Dude, he gets the shit blowed up
he
out
gets
of him.
blowed
Yeah,
the
man.
fuck up.
There's
dude.
never been a man that's been more blowed up than him.
Yeah, he loves Jyn Erso, maybe. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Jyn Erso.
Also
Rest
got
in peace,
blowed up.
Jyn, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so
Jyn
many
Erso's a
people
good
getting
name.
blowed
Do you
up.
reckon Jyn Erso will be in Andor season 2? I don't know.
No,
Like,
no, because they meet.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, they might do, because there's a bunch
A
of parallel
cutaway.
stories that are happening unrelated to Andor.
I want, yeah, maybe.
He doesn't
Did
see.
Mendelssohn's body get blowed up as well?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, Mendo or
Yeah,
Mendo.
He's on, yeah,
Mendo.
yeah,
You're on intimate terms with him.
yeah.
Your mate, Mendo.
Yeah,
Ben.
Mendo.
Benny.
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 Yeah.
Benny.
Benny Mendo. His
Uh,
body's on that planet gets blowed up, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
He gets
wow.
blowed up.
He gets killed, then blowed up.
yeah.
Wait, isn't there also a Darth Maul, or is that a TV show?
Darth Maul,
Animated
that-
series that was
got
just announced.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is like,
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, why
Thank
not?
everything.
Who
I keep forgetting that, he popped up at the end of Solo.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah.
Fuck
Well,
yeah,
but
dude.
we already. The thing is with Maul is funny is we already have an ending to Maul.
Mm.
Obi-Wan kills him again on
Yeah.
Tatooine,
Correct.
and it's cool because Darth Maul's like, I have only been thinking about fucking killing you since I fell in that hole, and I've rebuilt my whole empire, and all of it's for this moment. I'm gonna kill you. And Obi-Wan's like, I haven't thought about you at all, and you're so angry that I just win this fight very easily, and you die like a fuckwit.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's literally that meme from Mad Men. It's literally
I don't know who. Yeah, I don't think about
think
you
it-
at all.
yeah.
Fuck, Mad Men's good. Anyway,
So
why
good.
can't they make a Mad Men movie?
Yeah, all right, dude.
Although. You could make a Mad Men movie. Set it in the 80s. Don Draper's already lost touch by the time Mad Men ends. Well, sort of. He ends with a huge win.
Yeah.
Oh, the 80s could just be once again. Yeah, you could do like a Mad
Make
Men
a Sally
style
Draper
80s.
movie.
Oh, that's true.
Mad
That's
Women.
true. Mad Women. Or like the 80s of like Don Draper, because that would be like him spiraling
Oh, he fucking-
harder,
he-
but this time with new and exciting drugs.
He's spiraling quick. You know?
I mean, he fucking hates being alive in the 60s. Actually,
Yeah.
I guess it would be the 70s because, Mad Men ends in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, the 1970
Yeah.
because he makes the coke ad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's sick, dude.
What
Yeah, I
a
guess
crazy
you
way
could-
to end that series.
Like the film that just like, all about the 70s and the advertising because, who we were appealing, the counterculture, that kind of stuff.
Cola Wars?
But then,
That was
like,
the
yeah.
80s. Fuck.
Oh, but then like kind of like the end would end with like, hey, Don, we found this baggie of cocaine.
Yeah. Know what I want?
Time to die.
Don Draper in the console wars, Sega versus Nintendo. That's what I'd like to
He'd
see.
be like, hey,
Nintendo, fuck.
Nintendo of the games.
He's washed.
Do you know what Sega do? They do what Nintendo don't. And everyone's just like,
Whoa! He's done it again.
And we
God.
got the blue we got the blue rat.
yeah.
yeah.
Sick. Yes.
Americans love a blue rat.
What does the blue rat do? It goes fast.
God, Mad Men's so good. Why is nothing as good as Mad Men?
I don't know, brother.
man.
Dude,
Andor's pretty good, but
Yeah,
it's
you
not
should
Mad
watch
Man.
Andor.
but it's not.
It's not Mad Man.
It's not Mad.
Yeah.
Men.
He's got a point. Anyway. Any other little Star Wars?
Yeah. So the Ryan Johnson trilogy.
Maybe.
So that was like after.
Yeah, they announced that in between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, or maybe just after Rise of Skywalker. I would be curious to see what Ryan Johnson does with 3 movies, but he is also in an unlimited money deal with Netflix to keep making Knives Out movies until he dies.
Because like again, there were some elements that I really enjoyed.
What didn't you like about Last Jedi?
It's been so
The Casino
long.
Planet? No one likes the Casino Planet.
It's been so long
Yeah.
that I'm just trying to remember what I like and didn't like. What
You
I
like
really
the
liked was the
boy
whole
with
like
the broom?
that was great. Love that.
Anyone
bit.
could be a Jedi, bitch.
That was great. I loved the whole
Raise No One.
Raise No One. I loved just killing Snoke. That
Yeah.
was great. I loved the kind of just
I will
lot of
defend
that
The
stuff.
Last Jedi until the day I die.
Yeah.
But now that there is a sequel to it, I'm like, you didn't really leave much for
No.
anyone to do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's fine. He does like the opposite of what J.J. Abrams does.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
he's like, I'll
Wrap
answer
it up.
shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, but you don't leave.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Nothing to
I
jump
mean,
onto.
Kylo Ren, that's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the things that I don't think I cared for from memory was that it just reduced the rebels or whatever to such a small degree.
Yeah.
And the whole chase scene, I think I've mentioned it when we all those years ago
I think
when we
that's
first saw
awesome.
it was like Battlestar Galactica did that a lot better when it was just like them having to escape the giant the Cylon fleet and there was like a very small contingency. I think that was like again when you see something do it many years later but worse, you're like, it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But the Battlestar Galactica, they did it incredible of that like, being chased by this giant force and you're having to 88 minutes I think it is and you're there everyone's sleep deprived. That was really fun and really cool. I don't think they did it as well in The Last Jedi. And then I think it was just reducing the rebels to such a small degree seemed a bit silly.
Yeah.
But apart from that, there was so many other bits and pieces that I really enjoyed.
Luke being like, you hate, again, it's the same as the Maul thing. You hate me so fucking much.
Yeah.
And now you fucked up your whole thing because of how much you hate me, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I forced so hard I died.
Yeah, that's it. Again, you getting the lightsaber, being like, "Fuck this shit." That was great.
I'm out, bitch.
Yeah, leave me alone, burning books or whatever. Great. But then
Yoda's there?
Yoda was there.
See, that's good. That's the,
That's
you can do cameos and
Because
it's
it
like,
makes sense for Yoda
Yes.
to be there.
Yeah.
you know?
That's what I'm
That
saying.
checks out.
and it's not like,
It's not like, oh,
it's not like Yoda walks through the door. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's there's elements I really enjoyed of that. There's elements
Yeah.
I was like, eh. And then again, when when then the next film came around.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
I was like, oh, cool. Well, at least, there's some cool things you could build off. Oh,
never mind.
You just completely...
You can just be like, hey, I hated that last movie too, so none of that happened. Don't matter.
Wow.
Don't worry.
Wow. And I really liked Rose in
Rose
and then they did her so fucking dirty.
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't know. It's just like all the things that I really liked about it then just got like snipped for the
It's
Rise of Skywalker.
it is crazy how
Anyway.
much The Last Jedi just through no fault of its own changed the trajectory of Star Wars forever.
Yeah, The Last Jedi and Captain Marvel came out like 6 months apart, and movies have never been the
But
same.
they just haven't recovered.
Yeah.
They have not recovered.
It just felt like execs went, oh yeah, I've heard about this internet thing.
Yeah,
What
let's
if I
see what
go
they
on
say.
and see what they say? Oh, we need to change everything, guys.
Yeah.
We fucked up. We fucked up so hard.
Sorry, no, they were 2 years apart. For some reason, I thought Captain Marvel was also 2017.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy to
I don't know. It just feels like
crazy to
they
think
just
about.
swung the other way. And you're like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Anyway, What else have we got? Yeah, it would be nice to see what Ryan Johnson could do,
But I don't think that's
I
going to
think
happen.
the problem is you get the prequel trilogy, original trilogy, sequel trilogy. What do you call a fourth one?
Well, you don't call it any. It's just a separate thing.
Yeah, I know. I think that would be annoying for the public.
I don't think they're going to name. Why?
Why?
I just think people would be pissed off.
What? Because you got prequel, original.
Original, sequel. You
But
can't
I mean,
do sequel.
Prequel and original is already annoying.
Yeah, that is true.
Prequel's before an original, but
The
it's all
second
like,
sequel trilogy.
Second sequel. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Colloquially, how do you refer to it?
Well, again, is it
second
about...
sequel trilogy.
Well,
I
it
think
depends
that's
what it's
people would
about
call
because
it.
you're trying to name it after.
Well, is
fucking-
it not going to be a
That's why they've gone
continuation?
for no,
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Because hopefully they're not being like, it's another Skywalker thing.
No, they're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
None of their trilogies, and they've announced a few. None of them have been. It's a Skywalker trilogy.
Yeah.
Probably because you're right, Jackson. Everyone, they're too
How we
confused.
gonna refer
How are we
to
going to
it?
refer to
Well,
it? We're
also
so
because
confused.
it's been
Yeah.
10 years since the first, since the Force Awakens.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So it's been
Time.
Keeps
and
on
it was
slipping.
what
Keep
20
on
years between.
sliding by.
Oh fuck! Actually,
What?
I think it's pretty close now
Yeah.
from the gap between Revenge of the Sith and
All
the
right.
Force Awakens.
That's
Rise
funny.
Like
of
so
Skywalker
now
to
to
Rise of
Force
Skywalker.
Awakens.
Yeah,
No, from
yeah,
now
yeah.
to Force Awakens and Force Awakens to Revenge of the Sith. It's a very similar period of time.
Fuck. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So like it feels like it's like why would they do another trilogy? It's been so
Yeah,
soon,
yeah.
but give it 3 years and it's the same period of time.
Yeah, that's insane.
Anyway, what else have we? What
yeah,
else
what
have we
else
we
got?
got Simon and Kinburn trilogy.
No, boo, boo! Stop giving that man films. He is my Sean. Oh, god damn!
Well, he's
it.
only directed 2 movies.
Yeah, and he's written too many. No,
Yeah.
Yeah, get him out of
fuck
there.
him off. He's bad. He's bad. Why do they keep giving him stuff?
Well, don't
now I'm
worry,
gonna look at
don't
something and be
worry.
like, oh, actually, he made a thing I liked. He
Yeah.
probably has too.
Yeah, chances are.
God
Oh,
damn
he
it.
would have written some of the early X-Men stuff.
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah,
he's-
he wrote.
Yeah, I know.
No. His first movie that he wrote was Triple X State of the Union.
Fuck yeah.
X-Men: The Last Stand, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jumper, the original, the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. And then he wrote This Means War, which is a real asshole movie. X-Men: Days of Future Past.
He's the creator of Star Wars Rebels.
Whoa.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, like again, he had two shots at the Dark Phoenix saga, and he fucked it both times.
Yeah, dude.
Just stop.
He wrote X-Men Apocalypse. He wrote Fan Four Stick.
Whoa.
Yeah, again,
Huge.
X-Men Days of Future Past. Honestly, probably one of my favorite X-Men films, apart from I guess Logan. And yeah,
And
his screenplay by
It's your favorite
this
X-Men film
motherfucker.
directed by a pedophile.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That's true. I forgot he came back for that one. Damn.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey.
I mean, it's not okay he's a pedophile, but it's
Yeah.
okay that you watched the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, you Jumper. You wrote that.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I know.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, see? He sucks. Stop giving him shit.
Yeah.
Plus, you work with known pedophile, piece of shit.
Yeah.
Ryan Singer.
So many times.
So many times. Surely you would have noticed something.
We've got
Surely.
an
You
untitled
too, James Marsden. What the fuck?
Yeah, come
anyway.
on, James.
James J.D. Dillard and Matt Owens film. Matt Owens wrote the One Piece Netflix series.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
J.D. Dillard directed a bunch of movies I haven't seen, but they mostly seem fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Do they? And it's just like untitled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, after after One Piece, we're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We also have an Untitled Dave Filoni film, which actually might have been the one that ties everything together that I was thinking of.
Oh,
That ties-
Yeah, because it would have been the Mando and Grogu, and then it would have been the other.
But I don't think that movie will get made either. And then we've got a sequel film to the sequel trilogy about Rey.
There you
but
go, Jack.
it wouldn't be episode 10.
No,
would just
it would be
a
its own
separate
standalone Rey
Yeah.
story.
Rey Palpatine.
Yeah.
Crossed out.
Skywalker.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know, man. They've really fucked up that movie. It's such a shame because, like, all the characters in the sequel trilogy are so cool. Thinking about them as just like individually, kind of removed from the movie. Fuck, they're all sick as hell. Rey is this kind of like nasty, kind of scab orphan or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, but Big Destiny, fucking Poe, fucking man, they
Finn was
whiffed it,
great.
dude. Finn, yeah, fuck.
The little butthole eyes woman,
Yeah,
whatever.
Mascanado.
She was great.
Yeah, dude. Even BB-8 was cool.
Yeah,
Ball R2D2.
that little ball rolling around.
Damn, man.
What's the fucking guy? The drones are ready. Love that guy.
Mascanado?
No, that's not Mascanado. You fucking idiot.
Idiot. Think about his stupid name because it's a great name.
like-
Babu Frick. Yeah, there we
Babu
go.
Frick.
Oh, I love Babu Frick, bro.
Everything
Babu
fucking rules
Frick.
for
Oh
him.
man.
Yeah, dude.
He's only in the Rise of Skywalker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. I think he pops up in Mando, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Tight.
does. The director of the Rey movie is the director of Ms. Marvel,
Okay.
Okay.
I
she's
like Ms. Marvel.
Pakistani and Canadian citizen.
I think a standalone Rey movie is the one movie in this list
Yeah.
that I'm like, I'd watch that.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like I would, if I didn't have to, I'd be interested in that movie.
It's set 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, so
Yeah.
Rey will
Perfect.
be like 45.
I think if you pull the Rise of Skywalker's trick on The Last Jedi for this movie and kind of pretend it didn't happen,
Yeah.
make a great film.
You just like wipe, you just ignore everything,
You
and
just
you're
gotta
like,
take the bits you
just
like
got to
and
be
get rid
like,
of the bits you don't.
Luke was my mentor, so I took his name because I'm an orphan.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then you just got to be like, yep, I'm maybe either starting my own
I had
order.
a complicated
I'm
relationship
gonna
with
do-
Kylo Ren.
Do you
Yep.
reckon she's going to
Don't
be.
worry about it.
Well, he's dead now, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's
Luke's
not-
dead.
yeah.
Palpatine's dead.
Everyone's fucking
Yeah.
dead.
Everyone's dead.
Kylo's
Pose.
not yet. Kylo ain't coming to me as a
No.
Force ghost. Shut the fuck up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's let it be. Or actually, maybe as a Force ghost that could be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. Anyway,
So broad.
Babu Freak solo film is what I'm
Babu
hearing.
Freak. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the big takeaway of today's episode is that Croc Legend of the Gobbos remake is available on GOG.
That's awesome, dude. For $45?
45 Australian dollars.
45 Australian bucks.
That's
Price
pretty-
of a discounted pair of jeans.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's DRM free, so you can just buy it once.
That's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Share
That's the
with your
price
friends.
of 2.5 lunches
Yeah.
in this economy.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 lunches in this economy.
That's fucked up, dude.
Or like a dinner and a drink.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a Palmer and a pot. If you're telling me like
Nah.
$45, it's like at some places, I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Like
fucked.
$30 Palmer.
A Palmer and a pint would be getting very close to 45 Australian dollars now.
Yeah.
It'd probably fall just short. I reckon 42 to 43, but
Palmers are
still.
so expensive.
They're so
Yeah.
expensive.
When
these
did
days.
that happen?
What the fuck?
I feel like
Palmers
it's-
Actually,
They're
no,
like 30 bucks
$30
now.
expensive. That's crazy.
Used to be
Yeah,
like maybe you'd be spending like 20 maximum.
20 maximum. Let's say 25 maximum, but that would be a crazy Palmer.
Yeah,
yeah.
usually like, they're really $19 and you're like, you're getting
Yeah,
close to
okay,
that 20,
I'll
but
spend
all right,
19 bucks on a
I do
Palmer.
want a Palmer.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, hey, you can have a lovely Palmer for $39.
You're like,
Well, I'll
And
just
I'm like,
pull
how
up.
good is
me?
this Palmer?
I'm
Yeah.
going to pull up a local pub and see
How much
much
their
a Palmer
Palmers
is.
are.
Yeah.
View
Palmer
menu
check.
photos. It's a
Clive
sports
Palmer.
bar, so it should be cheap.
Should be.
What are we guessing?
20.
Eight.
Oh, wait, fuck.
Is it 28?
28. I
The,
reckon
the
you're
menu
right.
was from 3 years ago, so I don't trust that.
Fucking hell.
Give me 1 second.
Okay,
Give me 1
3
second.
years ago.
I reckon 28's a safe bet.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
reckon
go
28 from like a shitty pub, like a local where there's a bit of you have a bit of flutter on the pokies.
Yeah,
Watches everyone is like just puts in their paycheck and has a bit of a cry.
Yeah.
Watches the
Still-
other person next to you pisses themselves. Like he's
So 3 years ago, it was 26 at this pub.
26 3 years ago.
Now
fuck.
it is.
Hell, they're dreaming. 30.
I'm going to 32.
34.
I don't know what's happened at this pub, but it's dropped $2. It's now $24 for a Palmer.
Oh,
at our local sports bar.
Wow, times are tough.
Yes,
Chickens are
dude.
cheaper.
And all 3 different types of Parmas.
they're all the same price.
$24. You can get an Aussie Parma, which includes barbecue sauce, bacon, and cheese topped with a soft egg.
Lovely. They got Hawaiian. That's the other classic one.
Mexican is the other
Oh,
one.
Mexican's the deal too.
average
Ham,
price
cheese,
Parma.
avocado dip. Just say guacamole,
Yeah,
guys.
come on,
on.
guys. What the fuck?
Jalapenos, sour cream, and corn chips.
Yum.
I'm gonna look up, the average price of a Parma in Melbourne and see what is there.
Check the Palmy
Check the
index.
So it's, okay. So in Melbourne, currently, $15.90 to upwards of
$15.90? Where the fuck are you gonna get
I don't
cheap
know.
as fuck Palmas,
Upwards
dude?
of $29.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen Palmas for 35.
35? Where the fuck are you
No,
going?
I've definitely seen
I've
a
seen
Palma.
35.
Will you guys go
It's
into
fucked.
fucking
It's fucked, mate.
a
Yeah.
6-star restaurant where they suck you off while you eat the Parma?
Yeah,
35?
That is where I've been going.
Yeah.
I've been going to La Blowjobs.
I'll even look. Hey, I'll even just the Wesleyan,
Yeah.
which is like
I know the Wesleyan.
a wonderful, really good food, but fuck, it can be pricey.
Yeah, brother.
And like there, man, like they do some good, tasty stuff, but like
$35 Palmas.
Wouldn't be shocked if they are having a
That's
35.
fucked
Yeah,
up.
but on Thursday nights they do a pasta and wine for $25.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. That's
Which
pretty
is
good.
great.
$20
Again,
lunches? Maybe I go there now.
Maybe you go there for lunch.
We are doing our famous recording baseless speculation.
Now, and we're only talking about Palmas.
Only talking about Palmas
Last
and
time I
lunch.
was there, they did this like a slushy, but it was like cider, and it was too good.
Yum. I remember as a
It was a
child,
wine and whatever it was like a slushy, but alcohol. Fuck, too good, too
when
good.
I was a child in the UK,
Yeah,
an ice cream man, we went to an ice cream man, and he had a cider icicle. And I had it at like 15.
that sounds delicious.
It was really good. And it's kind of like one of those, you have those flavors and you're like, I'm kind of chasing that flavor. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of them. It's really good.
I don't think the Wesleyan does a Parma.
That sucks, dude.
No, they do a Palma.
They'll
I'm
do
looking.
a Palma.
I'm looking.
They got chicken. They got cheese.
No, they've gone fancier than Parmas.
Oh, they're beyond Palmas.
Like they don't have a regular steak. They've got a peppered kangaroo fillet.
oh my fucking
yes.
God.
And like again,
And sorry, and a
Delicious.
$46 Scotch fillet steak.
What's
There
your?
you
Do you just like a regular Palma? Is that your go-to? You do anything fancy? If there's like a Mexican Palma or Hawaiian Palma on the menu,
too much. I
Yeah.
kind of want a regular Palma. Like, and I know that people like with a Palma, it's like the ham is like maybe a traditional type of thing. Like even without the ham is fine for me.
yeah, fair enough.
Like because honestly, I would prefer it without the ham. I know, maybe controversial. I
Yeah.
don't know. If there was a Hawaiian one, I think I'm still
yeah,
going.
going
I'm still
tradi-
going traditional. As much as I do like having a little, cooked pineapple.
yeah,
I like
yeah. Sorry.
I like olive of Mexican Parma, but I am allergic to avocado. So I have
Yeah.
to be like,
You're
no
playing
avocado.
a
And
dangerous
then I
game.
hate
Yeah.
saying that because it
Yeah.
makes me seem like a baby. Like Jackson, who says, I'm allergic to eggs. You're
That's-
not allergic to eggs. You're a baby.
You are. Speaking of speaking of avocado and baby, we gave baby like avocado the other day. He loved avocado.
That's awesome,
Sucks
dude.
that a baby can eat food that I can't.
No, man.
I'm going to drink a beer in front of your baby. And be like, yeah, you
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
You can't
I drank a
have this.
coffee in front of your baby today.
Oh, that's
baby can't
good.
have coffee.
Baby cannot have. But
There's
he wants
wants
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
he grab a
baby-
mug so often.
He would
Johnny
love
baby.
some Java.
Yeah.
I had an Irish Palma.
What's that?
It's like curry
Like steaky?
sauce, like British curry sauce. Just a Palma slathered in it,
And then
awesome.
cheese.
and then cheese. Yeah,
That would
Sounds
be
sick.
delicious.
it was pretty
Yeah.
good. It was pretty fucking good. It's from
Yeah.
the what the fuck's it called? I get a T-shirt of it.
Like an Irish pub.
Yeah, it's up in the mountains, up in the Dandenongs.
Oh,
Forget what it's called.
Johnny Irish's pub.
That's it. Johnny Irish's pub. Dusha hit it. Got it in one.
All right,
damn.
10 today's episode. Pick one of these Star Wars things you can watch, but the rest are gone.
The Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
the Daisy Duke one. That's the one.
Awesome.
Uh,
Awesome.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
If they were like, hey, it's a Ray standalone film.
It's a Ray standalone movie set 15 years after the
I'm
Rise of
sold.
Skywalker.
I'll watch that. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
directed by the person who made Miss Marvel. I like
Yeah.
Miss Marvel TV show.
Yeah, like that
Sure, I'd
sounds
have a
great.
wonderful time with it.
If I again to not choose the same one as you, look, Ryan Johnson, his trilogy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd be curious to see what he did with it.
See what he
That would have been
busted
my
out.
pick as well, but now I guess I'm picking Star Wars Starfighter. Sean Levy!
Sean Levy, baby!
Sean Levy, don't miss, buddy.
Movies are
Let me
back.
Quickly check how much money did Deadpool Wolverine make. Oh, was it?
let me just check.
Let's quickly check
Deadpool,
there.
1 billion,
All
billion,
the
billion,
billions in
billion,
the
billion,
world.
billion,
Brother,
billion, million,
Deadpool,
billion,
Wolverine.
million,
Let me have a
billion
quick
dollars.
listen. Let me have a quick listen.
$1.338 billion.
Oh, Ooh, what an incredible
It's
film.
the 20th highest grossing film of all time and the highest grossing R-rated film ever.
That's
and
awesome.
that means
dude.
he's going to make an incredible Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's so good. Anyway, this has been another episode of Baseless Speculation, and we've been the Bears Boys, and it's lunchtime.
Time for lunch, bitch.
Yeah, Palmer's for the boys.
Yes. Actually, I have a pumpkin and sausage pasta I brought from home.
Hey, that sounds all right, too.
That does sound pretty
It's gonna be
tasty,
good.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna have. Maybe some toast.
Yeah.
Sounds good too.
Well, I'll thread the needle and find something slightly less sad than toast, but slightly less interesting than pumpkin and sausage.
oh,
What if it's like a hard-boiled egg, like with some? Okay, I understand.
Hard-boiled egg made that sad.
I understand that why you would assume that's sadder. What about scrambled egg and toast?
That's better.
getting better?
Maybe chuck a bit of chili sauce on it, and then it's no longer sad.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll allow that.
a hard-boiled egg on
Soft-boiled egg?
I mean, why?
What about Malaysian style, like this, like the Malaysian style egg?
That's
Like
fine.
the-
Just don't boil the egg.
Well, I mean,
I mean, soft-boiled.
You
if
can
you
do
cut
whatever
it
you
it's like
in
a
half.
half-boiled egg with a bit of soy sauce.
don't
Hard-boil,
hard-boil.
soft-boil. Don't boil the egg.
Boil. Cook the fucking egg.
That's how you cook an egg. You ever have Malaysian style like soft eggs? It's
Just leave
delicious.
the egg alone.
I'm just.
All right, let
tasty.
me look at this fucking Malaysian egg.
It's tasty. It's like a Malaysian style, yeah, because
Okay, so they're called half-boiled eggs?
yeah, half-boiled eggs. They're
Half-boiled?
really tasty. You shut the fuck up, Mister. I don't drink eggs. Drink eggs. Eat
I
eggs.
don't drink eggs.
Well, because again, it's like a soft-boiled egg, and like again, it's much better in like Malaysian, that kind of stuff, because they get like real nice fluffy bread and like the kaya butter, or it's like
You know what?
it's very tasty, just very tasty.
Half-boiled eggs.
Look, I'm going.
They
like,
look all right.
Yeah.
They look all right.
Hey,
Half-boiled eggs,
I'm going.
not
To,
sad.
I'm going to Singapore soon, and I cannot wait to have that meal at Heavenly Wang, and I'm going to have the best fucking time.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Don't hard-boil your egg. Goodbye!